Everybody, welcome to Skyfire News. It's Saturday. We're keeping it nice and loose tonight, guys. Glad to see y'all here. We got all your UFO news and then some extra stuff. You might have noticed from the thumbnail. We're talking about that chick. I call her a star seed. I think she fits the profile, but a lot of you guys are saying no, she's not a star seed. Okay, so my bad about that. But let's dive into what this phenomena is. Are people getting like back into their alien roots? She's claiming like she got her music from an alien. Maybe it was just LSD. Maybe it was just a good music festival. We have no idea. I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. It's really good to see y'all here. We got Gabriel Lundes. I don't know if I said your name right. My apologies if I did not. But it's good to have you here, man. Mandolin, cool. Welcome to the show. We talk about UFOs and UFO related culture. We got Galactic Radio. Hey, Ocean, Zach, Stokes. Dude, this is actually dope. And WQQD Craft. I don't know what that means. The profile looks like Elmo. So we're going to vibe with it, dude. Oh, that was a wild comment to put up. Guys, we are living it. We are going live. Heather, I don't know if I'm an alien. I have no idea. But if I was, what kind of alien would I want to be? I mean, there's reptilians, there's the Greys, there's the Nordics, there's the Mantids, there's these things like Ebens. I mean, the list kind of goes on. I think it goes on. I think that list goes on. But if you guys, I want to hear from the chat. If you guys had to pick to be abducted, let's say you have to be abducted, who do you want to abduct you? Which alien race that you've heard of? Now, again, I think the main players here, we're going to keep it simple. It's going to be reptilians, Greys, Kent. What's up, Kent? Reptilian, Greys, Nordics. And, we have some information on these guys. What I'm going to do towards the later part of the show, I want to hear you guys and see what you guys say. But we're going to go over the different alien species. All right. We had AI render out a lot of different images and whatnot of these things for you guys. So we don't have to sit here and imagine what they look like. We'll actually show you. And that's going to be good. Typically what we do on the weekdays is run through news story after news story after news story. Here we're just going to run through, what we want to run through. You know what I mean? I think the first thing we got to talk about is Kent Reynolds. If you guys don't know about UFO Twitter, it's a very real thing. It's very real. And Kent is somehow the king of UFO Twitter. So if you pop into UFO Twitter and you see Kent in there, he's calling the shots. And it's great to have him in here. It's kind of like UFO Twitter royalty. Dan Freeman in the house. Dan Freeman getting milked by a Nordic is bucket list. Okay. That would honestly, it's like the Nordics seem kind of hot. They're blonde. You know what I mean? Like they just seem kind of like aloof. Do you guys know who the actress Anna Taylor-Joy is? Because I think she might be a Nordic. Can I get a picture of Anna? We're just going to get a picture of her up over here for you guys to all, so we can just figure it out. We have to figure out, is it Anya Taylor-Joy? Is she a Nordic? I actually want Dan Freeman and Kent Reynolds to weigh in on this, because I just feel like if there was one, then she is one. That's what I think. She was in a film called The Witch. That's when I first heard about her. Now she's in like Furiosa. She's been in a lot of stuff. But this is who I think might take the cake for alien. Anya Taylor-Joy. What do you guys think? Is she? Can I zoom on this? We're gonna have to. I'm so lame on screen mirroring, but you guys know the actress I'm talking about. I think she looks a lot like, what is that one, like the Vril chick, right? There's a chick. Okay, if you guys don't know what the Vril is, it's essentially like from a story where someone went underground and found like an entire world under there, right? And was introduced to different civilizations down there. They were super advanced. They used energy different, and they called it Vril. And this story I think was talked about before, like a lot of heavy science was really kind of developed in the industry. So it kind of sounds a lot like, and this is the Richard Shaver stories, by the way. So it kind of sounds like it could have been someone trying to feel out what this new technology was going to be, electricity, all this other stuff. But Vril, this life force from the underground, right? And there's this like these mystics that popped up in Germany, and they're like they kind of look like this Anya Taylor Joy, and they're popping up in Germany. What is the one name? I need the chat. Will you guys remind me of her name? You guys know who I'm talking about. You guys know who I'm talking about. Uh, yeah, Vril Society. I'm just gonna look up Vril Society, and we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, guys. So I think Anya Taylor Joy kind of looks like this chick. And the interesting thing about the Vril Society and these German mystics, right, is a lot of them after World War II, they just fled the country and they landed in Argentina in South America. And we actually know this. This isn't like a theory. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't what that is, okay? This is real. We know for sure, like, that a lot of Germans ended up in Argentina and a lot of German, like, Nazis, like, ended up in South America, and if you go down there now, there are, like, families that are South American, but, like, white German, and they have, like, their families, like, pictures up, and they're all, like, Nazis. It's so bizarre, but it's there, you know? And it's not very talked about often. But yeah, look at this Vril Society chick. Does she look like Anya Taylor Joy a little bit? So the interesting thing about this connection, and again, this isn't I'm not cracking a new case open here, right? I'm not, right? But the interesting thing is that like if you really look into this, where is Anya Taylor Joy from? You guys know? Chat. You guys have any idea? Let's find out. Let's actually find out together. Let's read this together. We got Anya. Let's go to her. Here we go. Born is an actress. Born April 16th, including okay. Born in Miami, she was raised in Buenos Aires and in London. Where's Buenos Aires, dude? Just in the mix. Just in the mix. There's a lot of these. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know. I think there's a little connection between entertainment and weird conspiracies like that. Hollow Earth. That's what's up. That's what's up. You guys got to get into the Hollow Earth theory. If you don't know about it now, you know. Again, the Hollow Earth theory started to come from these kind of stories, and the Richard Shaver stories, I think, were the first ones that really like blew it up. And there was this first like magazine. Let's look up when the Richard Shaver stories were. I actually have a timeline that tells me when the Richard Shaver stories were. Um, but yeah, there's a 1932. So before even like a lot of big like technology popped up, 1932, there's this like magazine, and it was called Amazing. I think it was Amazing Stories. And this guy like called in or wrote in. You couldn't call him back then. He wrote in this story about how he stumbled upon a underground world, and down there was light down there. It was like a whole nother place, a whole nother Earth, societies, civilizations, all kinds of stuff. There isn't a second sun inside the Earth with another civilization. It's a great story, though. Yeah, that's what he kind of said. That's what he kind of said. But I don't know. What do you guys know? What do you guys know about what's inside the Earth? I saw a bunch of diagrams when I was a kid about what it was. Like I saw a ton of that stuff, but I can't say for sure. And our science is like so off. It's so off. We have these like very confident models of what the inner Earth looks like. You know, we're like, okay, so there's the crust, there's the mantle, there's the core. Like, cool, cool. But we never really consider how thick the crust is. And honestly, it's massive. It's massive. Um, let's look that up. Let's look it up, dude. And let's get some music kind of going. So for those who are new to the channel, we have Red Panda Koala popping in here later tonight. We got some other guests that are going to pop in. We got some call-ins that might happen. We like to talk about UFO experiences. We like to talk about UFO stories, UFO history, and honestly, like paranormal stuff too. Bigfoot, maybe not. You know what I mean? But still, if it happened, it happened. We're going to talk about it. If you got a story, we want to hear about it, dude. It's going to be, I don't know, one of those nights. One of those nights. We got some background music popping off now. There we go. Pavel in the mix. They found some new species. Pavel, what are you talking about? I want to know about what Pavel's on right now. Let's see. Let's see. So yeah, the Earth's crust is very big. When in comparison to the rest of the Earth, I mean, yeah, it's small, but we don't really consider how big it is. I mean, we know that there's caves down there that could fit the Empire State Building, right? We know there's caves down there that are so big, right, that literally they could fit skyscrapers, parts of cities. You know what I mean? How much of Manhattan can fit in that Chinese cave, the biggest one ever found? I don't know, man. I don't know. We got stories on stories on stories, though. Don't you guys worry. And alien invasion in Arizona. Now we got to bring in our guy, the one, the only, the world famous, and I mean that, Red Panda Koala. Red, welcome to the show.
What's up, Tupa and live chat? Can you hear me? Can you guys see me?
Look good, sound great.
Woo! Late night stream. Let me get the link over to Shane. Shane's gonna hop in here too.
Hell yes.
We're about to have a lot of fun.
Hell
Kent
yes.
Reynolds in the chat. Love that guy, dude. I'm gonna go to Thailand. Thailand stream coming soon.
Hey, Red, I told the whole chat about Kent Reynolds' reputation in UFO Twitter. He's the lord of UFO Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
He calls the shots around there, and that's why we love having him here.
Is this the volume one?
One of those is the volume. Yeah, I love this.
Hello?
Ooh, there it is.
Is that louder? Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect. You sound like
Okay,
butter.
cool.
Chat, let us know, is Red's mic loud enough or not? We need you guys to really tap in on this.
Let's get this invite out.
Dude, hi from Sydney? Yes. Bring Sydney in the mix, dude. We love our Australian audience, dude. A lot of Australians made a lot of Benno, Kent, like so many people in Spaces. If you guys are unfamiliar with Twitter or X Spaces, it's essentially just like a, I don't know, what, Clubhouse or something. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't around. I never got to Clubhouse. But on Twitter or X, you can just host live conversations. I met a lot of really interesting experiencers there, UFO, ghost, phenomena, whatever, and got to hear a lot of stories. And you learn a lot from people. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to start this show and this podcast is like, you learn more from people than you do from the media because they have an agenda. By the way, this is brought to you by I'm playing. we are just free agents out here.
My Myths and Tales of Futures Past says Kent is way cooler than you guys for sure. I totally agree.
No doubt.
I 100% agree.
No doubt. It would be foolish for us to say otherwise.
He's had some great profile pictures. That Africa pic of him. Yeah.
Really good. It's really good. Kent, if you ever get a chance to call in, please do, man. We're gonna send you a link. That'd be really
Oh yeah.
good.
I don't know if Tuba said tonight's kind of like a call-in show night. We're doing a little bit of a it's looser, right? It's the weekend. It's nighttime.
The nighttime is the right time. We got possible Kimball sighting coming in. Now, Kimball has an experience. We know Kimball from X, but he is a host of a UFO intro show where he talks to other experiencers, and also within the show on X Spaces, Kimball had an experience. He saw a craft, took a video of it. We heard the whole thing. I don't know if we have a recording of it or if you can find it. It got emotional. It got like kind of scary. Just listening to it was horrifying. I mean, it was like you don't know what you're listening to. You don't know what you're hearing. But live in the Spaces, this guy saw something, had a whole experience, emotional moment, and then we got to see the clip afterwards. And it was, it's a wild story. So I can't wait for him to get in here. Maybe he'll tell us about it.
Stoned Ape, huge friend of the show, says, I think Kent could be the next Chuck Norris. I totally agree. If anything, I feel like we're probably going to learn one day maybe Kent taught Chuck Norris.
I think so. I think Chuck Norris was the next Kent.
Right.
We got to get the music up. We got some beats for you guys. If you guys didn't know, artificial intelligence, dude. We're not doing that tonight. We're not doing that. It's good to have you guys here. Oh, Asher's is in the mix, dude. We were just talking to the chat about the inner Earth theory. What do you think about that, Red? Is there an inner Earth?
I did hear you spewing a little bit of National Socialist propaganda there. I think so. Mm-hmm. I think the King Kong versus Godzilla movie was disclosure. It's probably the best depiction of inner Earth yet.
I don't think so, dude.
Cosmic Judas, a friend of the show, also sent me a video to watch. I don't know if you guys remember earlier this week. We watched his compilation of the leftist streamers reacting to David Grusch, the UFO Escrow. We'll probably just replay it again. But he sent me the companion piece to that, which is the right-wing streamers reacting to that. So that might be fun. See what how both sides of the political aisle think about Grusch and UFOs and Lou Elizondo. Yeah, Heather Birdie, our mod. Smoke him if you got him.
Smoke him if you got him, guys.
Absolutely.
Dude, I want to play a little, just a tiny. You think it's okay if I play a tiny section of Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire? I just want to see when you're
the Inner Earth part. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I want to see this stuff. There's some Inner Earth in here, dude. We got to check this out, guys. Shout out to Skyfire News Twitter. You guys got to go there, give us a follow. If you guys didn't like this already, if you guys haven't subscribed, every weekday we give you like serious UFO news, everything to keep you updated. And on the weekends we keep it real. We just like chatting. We're just keep it in the mix. But also we do have some stuff to cover. And we have some fun clips to go over, dude. It's going to be fun. And I think we have a lot of stuff we could just show that maybe you guys have seen, but it's kind of old, little old stuff. So what are we doing over here? Sharing the screen. I want you guys to see. Red thinks that Kong versus Zilla is disclosure.
Stokes said, "Does this dude have a coonskin cap?" No, it's actually a red panda hat. Panda koala. 50 red pandas died to make this hat. So there you go.
Human civilization. We believed that life could only exist on the surface of our planet.
Disclosure right there, dude.
What else were we wrong about?
Exactly. We don't want to get this stream pulled, and that's all we can show. I'm not right. I don't know the rules. Chat, tap in. How much can we show? I do think the last shot is bananas. Get it together, Hollywood. What do you guys
Here's
think?
a little bit of the Inner Earth thing, and we'll just pause it here and there. This is from King Kong vs. Godzilla. This is where they're flying to it, and even the craft they used to get in it gave me some UFO vibes. But we'll just go a little bit. Here's how they have to. Inner Earth's fun. Why not?
Suddenly it's Fifth Element, dude. That's crazy. Inner Earth is fun, man. It's a fun idea. It's so weird, like the idea that like in these cave systems there's other, so like when you really think about it, the surface of the planet is the most dangerous, the most volatile. It's the worst place for life to exist. Anything that exists even under the ocean, they've been around for way longer, millions of years, tens of millions of years, unchanged. They didn't have to change. Their environment didn't change that much. You go down into a cave system, you could stay there forever. You're not experiencing, anything. No floods, no solar flares.
Welcome, Anthony Jones, member. Kimberly James says, check out Mr. Mythos for Inner Earth stuff. Very good. Yeah, definitely. He's a great channel. We should get him on by the end of the year. Goal for sure. Maybe within 4 months.
I'm into that.
I want to reach out to a lot of those that are like do that, but aren't really necessarily part of the UFO community. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Maybe who's the other one? Wendy Goon. Probably get him on at some point.
Dude, absolutely. What about the Y files? I want to get Hecklefish on them in the mix.
Dude, Darcy Weir, Y Files, Patrick Vetted collab show.
Yes. So here's this amazing stories. I remember Lumeria. Like this is how old this stuff is. This is like the first appearance in this magazine. And Lemuria was the name of one of these like old cities. So
you know who talks about Lemuria a lot, right?
Who?
Your girl, bro.
Blavatsky?
No. Let me pull up a little thing so we could show the audience who I'm talking about. Keep on thinking, who else is your girl that you talk about all the time in this field? Maybe not as much as you used to.
Pasolka?
No.
I cannot. Now I'm at a loss. Wait. Carla Turner?
No, getting closer though.
Dude, how about all these? We didn't think there was ladies in the mix. I know you're not talking about Linda Moulton Howe.
No.
Dorothy Izat.
Yeah.
Or Dorothy Izat. I don't know how you guys pronounce it. I say Izat. There's more power in Izat, dude. It sounds right. Dude, Dorothy Izat. Can I just play my Dorothy Izat video?
Yeah, go for it. We're just chilling tonight. We're just hanging
Hell
out.
yes. Hell yes.
Let's just kick it. But the point I brought up was I don't know if you know this about her. Like, yeah, she's like I see stuff prosaic or like physically right on camera film, but she also has like if you read her book, she goes into the like past life regression stuff and is like I used to be a Lumerian princess, stuff like that.
Are you for real?
I'm for real. Yeah, I have her book. I think her book is also called Capturing the Light. Maybe not. But yeah, she writes about all of her experiences and whatnot.
I did not know she like was all like traces her lineage back there. Like a lot of people who, for those who don't know, there is more than enough. Like I think it's a majority of people who have these experiences with aliens and that we don't hear about it. And when we hear about the stories themselves, a lot of these details are excluded for some reason. But a lot of this stuff goes back into like Shane is your heckle. So actually that's great. That's great. No, but a lot of these I don't know, like there's so much esoteric and mythical stuff that comes into UFO experiences. People find out their past life, people find out they were kings. It's it's in the mix for sure. Let's play this Dorothy Izat situation. We're still getting used to. I like StreamYard so much. Shout out to StreamYard for making it possible, dude.
Especially after OBS, dude. That first OBS stream.
Oh Lord.
Ooh, not fun.
Oh Lord. It's a vertical video, guys. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to suffer through this a little bit. Let's see how big can I get it. Maxed it out. Okay. This is a little piece I did on Dorothy Izat to kind of get you guys caught up to speed. This is on Chupacabra YouTube. It exists. So here we go. Dorothy and her films are one of the most, if not the most important UFO experiencer stories that you've probably never heard of.
It's actual footage from Dorothy's Super 8mm home movies.
Her name is Dorothy Izat, the world's most unlikely UFO contactee.
She has regular contact with extraterrestrials, and her outrageous accounts have passed every scientific test.
On November 9th, 1974, Izat was in her Vancouver, BC home making tea when she said she got the intense feeling that someone was watching her. This prompted Dorothy to look out her kitchen window, at which point she saw this.
I looked up in the sky and here was this enormous craft that looks like a huge gold, like diamond-shaped thing up in the sky. It was so beautiful to look at that I felt I was really lifted up. It was absolutely a wonderful feeling. I wasn't afraid at all, I felt very privileged to be able to see something like that.
After several failed attempts to convince her family of what she was seeing, she decided to film the lights on a Super 8 camera.
What I saw in the sky was just round objects of light, round balls of light. But what was on the film...
When Dorothy examined the film, she found individual frames of explosions of light moving around the scene. Sometimes these lights would illuminate enormous solid craft that would otherwise be invisible to us. Sometimes there were beings in the crafts. But here's where it gets fucking weird. Not only was she able to film them with 3 different cameras, she claims she was able to communicate with the beings behind the strange lights in the sky.
Oh dear, I can't see the lights so bright. I said, I need to film you. I said, can you turn the lights off the ship? And I can film you. And they did. The lights go off. The aliens are there.
And believe it or not, like all of Dorothy's footage, this has been scientifically tested and declared genuine, or at least not faked.
Sadly, Dorothy passed away on January 29th of 2021. But whoever Dorothy was talking to, they were able to show her so much in so little time that researchers are still poring over the more than 30,000 feet of film she left behind. I love that music. I was into it when I edited it, and I'm into it now. I was vibing with it. So what do you guys think? Dorothy Izat, 30,000 feet of film. That translates to about 9 hours. I did the math. Or I had the internet do it. Thanks, internet. The cool thing about the thing is that there's a documentary called Capturing the Light. It's on Amazon Prime. Go check it out. I think it's only about 75 minutes long or so. It's not even that long. Guys, go watch it. In there, you see so much more footage. You see so many more images. You see so much more of her family. Like there's this deep story about like her trying to convince her family that she was seeing the stuff and they just didn't listen. And she gets reassured by her granddaughter. It's super sweet. It's sweet, dude. It's emotional. But here you have this case where this woman's filming these things. She literally gets vibes, right? Hey, I should go look outside. Then she asks them telepathically, can I record you? Is it okay if I record you? Like, that's the relationship this woman started with UFOs. It was so capturing the light. And that's the relationship. She had it. Like, a lot of people, I mean, when she said that quote, like, it was just so beautiful. Like, it was, I felt lucky to have seen it. Like, she was honored to see it. I don't know if that, like, a lot of people get that feeling. They don't talk about it. They're like, oh, I didn't know what I was looking at. Like, right. A lot of people see a craft and like, I don't think they can recognize it as a thing of beauty. It's almost like they're super intimidated by it. You know what I mean? But she had this different vibe. There she is with J. Allen Hynek, who invented the close encounter scale. We'll be talking about a little later tonight. He was in the film Close Encounters. He is a Project Blue Book veteran, kind of a cover-up guy that got flipped over into a believer. Red, can you tell us more about that? You know a ton about this guy.
Yeah, J. Allen Hynek was brought on to, I believe, even Project Sign or Project Grudge. He was really early. Basically, he was an astronomer, pretty prominent. During World War II, he had helped develop some kind of fuse, and that's kind of how he got in the military-industrial mix. And when it came time to start this UFO program, Project Sign, in 1947, he was teaching, I believe, at Ohio State University, which is right near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, right in Ohio. So by luck of chance of having already been involved with military stuff during the war and by being close, he was kind of brought on to basically debunk UFOs for the public. And I'm trying to pull up I have a montage here in one of my videos that I know we could play because all my stuff's hasn't been copyright claimed. But
hey, if you guys are listening to this, if you guys are watching this and you haven't gone to Red Panda Koala's YouTube channel and don't know what he's known for, what he's been doing, go check it out. It's the best video essays on the topic you can get. If you need like we give you the condensed version, we dive into some topics, but if you need that like solid reference, you go to you go to Red Panda Koala's channel and check out those videos, dude. Like, it is an encyclopedia almost what you collected over there. And I forgot, bro, when you were telling the story the other day about how like it was going to start as was it like a history channel?
Yeah, I was going to start as a Cold War history channel. So and I don't know if you've noticed in my videos, you can see me kind of intertwine that. I touch on the Guatemalan coup, right? In some videos, like that would have been its own video on my what would have been the original channel.
Dude, I think that's what makes your video so special. It's almost like the UFO part. It's not an afterthought, but there's as much invested in the history surrounding it, the context of each story, that like it's like, oh shit, like I know more. It's not just the history channel, right? Where like every commercial break there's a cliffhanger, right? It's just like it's way better than that. I love the fact that we can produce independent media, bro, like, and that we can reference it.
Here's a little section of what the Blue Book people were doing during the 1950s and 1960s. On televisions promoting the goals of the Robertson panel.
Major Hector Quintanilla, Wright-Patterson Field, Chief of Project Blue Book, the unit that investigates UFOs.
After almost 20 years and after having investigated over 9,000 cases, the Air Force has determined that the UFO phenomenon does not present a threat to the national security of the United States.
Only one of these men is the real J. Allen Hynek. The other two are imposters.
They're on your TV shows. They're in your memes today. They're everywhere they need to be to make sure you're thinking what they want you to think.
To fool this panel.
And I can't say and won't say that I have solved it or know the answer, yet a simple calculation shows that the setting moon was in virtually precisely the position of the sighting of the globe that Mrs. Crowley reported.
In over 9,000 cases on file in the Air Force, there is no indication that craft, so-called craft, have been guided by any form of intelligence.
Has anybody been hurt, injured, or touched any of these unidentified flying objects in the air, on the ground?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Lying to your face on TV.
So, Red, you're saying that people had been injured and hurt by these things, and he knew that by this time.
Yeah, and he knew that, and he even just said touched too, right? Touched and seen. So Yeah, but I do think Hynek knew about some injuries for sure.
Now, just off the cuff.
But he turned coat, if you will, on the cover up. Actually, let's watch it. So we're on
Just between you and me, do you think there's any of them little greenies in the egg-shaped things? I won't tell the Air Force.
I don't have any information that there are.
He said egg-shaped things?
Yeah. Dude.
What year is this?
This, I think, was filmed in 1965 or 60.
So that's after the Lonnie Zamora?
Yeah, I think that was in 1964. And that's one of those cases where Hynek said was really compelling. I think even Rick Doty.
Wait a second. Zamora was 64 and this show is 65? Something
like that. I think so, yeah.
Okay, so for the chat and everybody listening, dude, the Lonnie Zamora case in 1964, a police officer was driving through the desert, right? This was in Socorro, New Mexico, okay? He's driving around. It's his, it's his vibe. It's his beat. And then he sees something fly over him. He's kind of goes off over a little hill, and he sees he thinks it's landing, like some object, looks like an egg. So he goes, drives to where it's about to be, gets there, and it's literally landed. The feet are out. It's got 3 feet. It's landed on the ground, and it's got these little beings in silver suits walking around it, dude. It's weird. And he reports it, and he's like, "Listen, I saw this thing." They go back with other cops, and they investigate. They find the footprints of the thing, and they find the footprints of the beings, and they're like, "Yeah, there's something here." So then they reference in the show the egg-shaped craft. That's interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. He says we're just hanging out. Here's Lonnie Zamora talking about his experience. Why not? Short little clip. Boom. StreamYard for the win.
This road about a half a mile, and then I stopped my car and got out and looked out, and I could see a white looking object in the distance. I thought it was an overturned car at first, but I got into my patrol car and went up closer to it. And when I started to get out of the car, I heard a big roar. As I got to it, I could see a couple of coveralls hanging from a clothesline. I couldn't see what it was, but it looked like a couple of coveralls.
Where it was. So UFO Shane is in a space right now, and I think it's popping off between him and UAP Mike. Should I tell them to just both come in here and handle it here?
We should just stream it if they don't come in here. We'll stream it if they don't come in, dude.
Actually, yeah, let's go listen and see what they're up to on the stream first.
All right, guys, everybody in the chat, everybody listening. I know I keep saying what's up to y'all, but there's a lot of UFO drama. Okay, it's always happening. Our very own UFO Shane is right now in a spaces.
Was that hear that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know where it correlates to.
I mean,
I think that the disingenuousness is what we're talking about.
I would say most of the people on UFO Twitter that I've come into contact with, a lot of them don't care about the followers so much as the quality of followers they got. They don't care about the quantity, but if you got a couple people.
Do you know Fringe? Like the best person I've met about that is.
That was so uneventful. This is better.
Let's get ready to rumble.
I heard in a spaces today for UFO Twitter Week the statement that other communities are as crazy as the UFO community. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize the intelligence community was part of the NFL fan club, or you know what I mean, or Magic the Gathering, or literally any other community. But in the UFO mix, in the military industrial mix, as Red coined it, I don't know, I think the UFO community has them beat. There's so many people, there's so many agendas, and they're all kind of grassroots. There's fractions within fractions of the government. This includes the intelligence community. This includes the military. I think a lot of people have their own opinion about Ryan Bledsoe. I think he seems like a great guy, and he is absolutely spitting facts on Danny Jones when he's there's a lot of people. There's a lot of different agendas going on within the military industrial mix. What do they all want? And they all want something to do with UFOs, as we found out recently, right? It's come out that there's religious agendas that are trying to keep UFOs from being researched within the government. A lot of people think this is angels and demons and stuff.
So that might be fun to talk about maybe later. That Pope stuff that happened, which I don't even know what's true about it or not. But I'm gonna try and get these guys in here. Maybe they won't come. Maybe they will. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna on speaker. Can you hear this?
Yes.
Yo, UFO Shane. Yo. We're live right now. What's up? Yo, you and UAP Mike and Terrestrial and Okada and Kimball just come hop on the stream. Dude, Kimball has actually really great lighting.
He has the best set. He has the best set in ufology.
Yeah. All right. All right, I'll send you all the link, but yeah, I'll see y'all. All right, I'll send you the link. But there you go.
Dude, we got to show
do it live.
Do it live, man.
You know what? We need that clip in the thing. Let's just do that live too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. I want to dive into this real quick. All right, there's a UFO and alien invasion in Arizona. Let's figure out what this is about. I wonder if it's old news, new news. We're finding out together. Some residents of Eloy, Arizona were alarmed by a strange sight in the night sky, initially thinking it was a meteorite. Some even called the state police, mistaking the spectacle for an alien invasion. Well, what are your theories, guys? I'm playing. It's actually on the screen. It was actually a skydiving team that broke the vertical night record. What a bummer, dude. They're out there just kind of making innocent people who are interested in the topic believe they just had an experience. You know what I mean? Like, they got to figure this out. They got to figure this out. So that's all that was. That's all that was. Dude, people are asking us to screen share the space. I think, honestly, dude, when it pops off, we should really pop in there.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it for sure. There was actually some interesting discussion up here. I'm curious, Tipa. I'm sure the people want to hear too. Who was it? Someone was asking about, like, what do you guys think about David Grusch? Oh, here we go. Stokes in the chat with the great profile picture. Do you guys think David Grusch is a grifter? Seems less trustworthy than David Fravor, for instance.
Huh. Well, I think the more you're involved in programs outside of the, your story or whatever, the more you get involved in like different ideas, programs, startups, that kind of stuff, it could seem more grifty. You know what I mean? Like, and then when it all seems a little bit intermixed, kind of incestuous, like there's this relationship between Grusch and Gary Nolan, right? There's a relationship between these guys, right, that are insiders. I would call them UFO or UAP disclosure effort insiders. And when they start to kind of mix with different businesses and different projects and different startups, like, it does seem like someone could really question, is this kind of grifty? Whereas you said David Fravor doesn't really seem to have that same like vibe. Well, David Fravor's, I think he's still, I don't know if he's active duty, but he's in the mix. He's not like out there trying to be part of these other projects. He seems to be
I feel like David Fravor's been in more UFO documentaries than Grusch has, maybe.
But is David Fravor involved in like any of these companies the same way like Ryan Graves or David Grusch is?
No, I don't think so. But I got a clip here too. This is a Stoned Ape clip. We got a double friend of the show clip thing going on here.
Oh, you see who's backstage, Doc?
Oh, Terrestrial Material. Let's get him back.
Let's get him in, dude.
Woo! What's up, bro? Welcome.
What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
Hang out.
Thanks for the invite, bro. Always.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good. Just having some fun. These ones are a little more casual. We're just kind of hanging out, kicking back.
Yeah, for sure.
But this was talking a little bit about Grusch right now.
Yeah, we got a question from the audience of like what we thought about David Grusch. And they compared him to kind of Fravor. Asked if he was a grifter. That was the question. Who knows, right?
No, I don't think he's a grifter, man. The jury's kind of out on him still, right? I mean, if we get those emails, I know that there's rumors. I know Matt Ford was kind of talking about there was rumors that there's already been a back and forth and that the NDA situation's going on. I don't know. It's up in the air. Each side has their story, but we don't really have like the emails yet in paper form. So it's hard to say. But no, I don't think he's a grifter. I don't think he's I don't think he's lying about what he has seen or whatever like that. And I like Fravor too, bro, to be honest. I'm a big fan of Fravor. I think he seen what he's seen. And sure.
Grusch is one of my favorite. Here's this clip I got pulled up. Stoned Ape, friend of the show. She was in here earlier. Stoned, I hope you're here. You're watching. We're watching the clip. You know what clip I'm talking about. Also, sidebar, full disclosure. I was cited in this documentary. I was invited, but I had a lot of stuff going on and couldn't make it. This is Jesse Michaels and Yes Theory's documentary about David Grusch. And there's this fun little factoid in it about Grusch.
Since the hearing took place. So we decided to have a change of pace after Dave invited us out on an adventure.
I had like the fastest llama, and at the end, everybody was like, "Oh my god, he's the llama just going for it." Oh my!
Dave ran this morning in a llama race with his wife. They placed 17th. So.
Llama racing, yo.
Since the hearing took place.
I don't know. Grusch seems like a fun guy. I hope he's not. I mean, y'all know how I feel about Lou Elizondo. I still think there's a path back for you, Lou. But I'm kind of with Terrestrial. Like,
the lie detector test determined that was a lie.
That's one of the best ones you got.
Yeah, right. He's a believer. I still think he's. I mean, he was on the UAP task force, right? So let's just. Yeah, there he is. Stone Ape. Hell yeah. He was on the UAP task force. How he got in the mix? This thing created by Congress after the 2017 videos came out. Carl Nell was on there. Travis Taylor's on there. Jay Stratton's on there. That's who we know of publicly.
Yeah.
And it was in that role, in that congressional mandated capacity with like access to things that he says he came across some of the stuff. And right now I'm going to practice looking at my mic more. Do you just look at your camera, right? You kind of have to be like.
You kind of have to just play.
You kind of have to be like narcissistic, right? Just like you're looking at yourself. Okay.
Just blind it up, dude. Like pretend that that's something.
Pretend that that's like you, but I'm really looking at me.
Yeah.
Okay. So David Grusch was on the UAP task force, congressional mandate. He's looking at all this UFO stuff, and that's when he claims he came across this stuff. And I'm actually working, believe it or not, I am still working on an Arrow historical report video response, but currently I'm working on a 3-body problem review of just episode 1. It's like 40 minutes, but I'm having to go full Tom Cruise mode on it.
And as long as the episode, dude.
Yeah, I'm having to go full Tom Cruise mode and have to navigate this copyright strike because Netflix it's like the final boss, I feel like, of trying to get around copyright stuff, but it's coming along good. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be awesome. But point being, Grusch came across all this stuff, he claims. Now here's what people probably harp in on is that a lot of it is probably from the same people, right? It kind of all ties back into a lot of it is trust me bros from like the same people that we could all probably name, the same like 10 people. Now, we don't know for sure if that's the case with Grusch. I would like to think not. But if that is the case, that is, I think, at the very least, cause for concern. And that doesn't necessarily mean Grusch is a bad guy or intentionally doing this. But then again, you know what I mean? Who would put it past the most powerful military in the history of the world to get out somebody who we like, right? Like, let's Lou screwed the pooch on this one. Let's make sure the next dude he's into camel or llama racing, and you know what I mean. You want to go to the movies with him. Although those are true for me. I still like Grusch. I have been burned, right? Me and Tupa were Lou shills for a minute there, and you got burned pretty bad by that one.
No heroes in this game. It doesn't seem like, you know what I mean. Just go with the facts and go with your gut, dude. But let's get to this clip, man.
Oh well, I played it already, but let's just play it again. Screw it.
Oh yeah.
So we decided to have a change of pace after Dave invited us out on an adventure.
Also, those shades. I want to buy some shades like that. I'm with the.
Is that Jesse Michaels?
Yeah, this is Jesse Michaels and Yes Theory's video.
Does
Jesse
he have
Michaels,
the best
friend of the
t-shirts?
show.
I think Jesse Michaels has the best t-shirts in the game.
Oh yeah, In and Out, bro.
Dude.
Can't go wrong with In and Out.
The guy got it figured out.
Red Tupa, do you know exactly how Michaels got in with him, dude? I mean, what's some Air Force connection or whatever, but do you know the story behind that?
No.
So okay, here's the story. Right? Here's the story I know from talking to Jesse Michaels about it. And this is, I think he's talked about this publicly. I'm not like sharing any thing crazy. And so basically he says he had a friend, right? Oh, we got a friend of the show. Oh,
dude, let's get him on right now.
Let's get him on right away.
Hell yeah, dude.
Welcome, UAP Mike. How's it going, bud?
It's good. It's good, boys.
Dude, I'm glad you're here.
This is UAP Mike's first appearance on the stream, man. This is awesome.
I'm curious for your takes on this, Mike. How did Grusch and Jesse Michaels meet? Because I'm with Terrestrial. That is kind of like really random and convenient, right? So this is the story officially. Thanks for being here, Mike. Basically, I think Jesse Michaels had a friend who was in the Air Force, and that friend knew Grusch. And for whatever reason, when I think Jesse Michaels is pretty well connected. This is all public info. He went to Columbia University, right, in New York, and he worked on someone's show for a minute. Do you know whose show, Tupa? Like, not Jay Leno. Conan maybe or something like that.
Charlie Rose.
No. But yeah, so apparently they just he met Grusch through a mutual friend, and then they kind of hit it off. But it is pretty convenient. I don't know. Do you? I think you've expressed kind of like doubts in that story, Trestro, which I could understand.
No, I don't think anything's weird behind it like that. I just wondered really how. I mean, it is an interesting connection, right?
And he said it sounds like he knew him before Grusch even went public. Like he said, it sounds like
You
they
think
like.
so?
I don't know. I mean, it just feels like they had like there's got to be some type of like long like. Why wouldn't Jesse have been able to figure out or be given names of people who were about to go public? I mean, he talked to Hal Puthoff. You know what I mean? Like he knows people. And like, I don't know if you guys know Jesse's background or watched his recent documentary, which is amazing. It's like really personal. He held on to it for about a year before releasing it. But like, it's his dad and it's his godfather. And his godfather had a documentary made about him by Jonah Hill, because he's like a therapist to the stars, and his main guy to use as a reference is Rudolf Steiner, the mystic, the theosophist. Dude,
Yeah. What do you think of the Jesse Michaels Grusch connection? Do you think that's how it really went down? That it's chance, just my friends and your friend, and now we're doing this, or do you think that maybe there was a little more to it?
I'm not really familiar with their relationship so much. So
I'll say I'm glad that it is a thing, right? I think this Grusch content that Jesse has been a part of for both things, the Yes There thing and his own one, I think I'm glad that they came out. I think they helped push the conversation forward, help personalize Grusch, maybe,
humanizes him.
Humanize
It's the most humanizing media that's out there. We know that he's a real person with real style. I mean, those shades and shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's cool. That's cool. So, Mike, you guys were having a talk over there in Spaces. It got heated.
Why is Shane the last one here?
Yeah. I was running some UFO Twitter week. Shout out UFO Twitter guys. We got some great spaces going. I think there's still some spaces going tomorrow. I think so. Wood, all those guys and ladies out there. So shout out to all those people who did great work. Yeah, just people get salty. Seems like every UFO Twitter week somebody has a problem with something. So yeah,
that is true.
You just send somebody down for being a speaker for 1 second, and they get their little feels hurt. And
we've all been there.
Big crocodile tears.
Yeah.
And so when even when you man up and you say, "Yo, I'm sorry," and take ownership for some of the shit, it doesn't matter. And people just they're just salty little babies.
It's a mixed bag in UFO Twitter. It's because it's a fringe topic. We get like it has its own demographic almost, right? And I don't know when you research, or if you're prone to falling into rabbit holes, you know what I mean, online, you don't really socialize that much. Of all the people like, you know what I mean? It's got to be.
This is a good point, too, but
right?
This is a really good point. Yeah.
And so, and I'm not talking about crazy rabbit holes all the time. I'm just saying, like, anything. If you're prone to that, there's a good chance you're that one friend who, when you get around everybody and everybody's having a good time, you're like, bro, chemtrails, right? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, there's been some great spaces this week too. What comes to mind? Stoned Ape, friend of the show down there in live chat. All her Doomer spaces, I love those. There was Grant Cameron. I love him. He's
always he's the best bro to listen to.
He's so nice.
UFO crack in the best way.
Grant Cameron is a Canadian UFO researcher. He's been in the game for years, but he's one of the he plays the background a lot. But he's been around and present for some of the most, I think, kind of like amazing stories, like some of them within the community for sure. And yeah, super nice guy, encyclopedic knowledge of the phenomenon. He had a great podcast. We'll try to link it in the chat with Vetted and Nicole Satchett or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Sackich.
Yeah.
Sackich. Okay. Yeah, it was really
get
cool.
Them on soon. Mike, who would you like to see us get on here? Who would you like to see us interview?
Anybody you can bag. Yeah.
For sure. We're reaching.
Oh, finally, the man of the hour, UFO Shane in the mix. Let's get some music before we bring him up.
Let's do it. You get the music, I'll bring them up. You guys, really, really pumped you guys are here. It's UFO Shane, the one and only dude.
Your webcam can't handle that movement, dude.
Why does the music match his background only?
Bro, what about that FPS, man? That is incredible.
UFO Shane coming from a Motorola Razr.
Dude, straight up.
Straight up.
Oh, it is his voice.
Oh, look at
It is
him.
his
Are you an
voice.
anime girl voice now?
I can do that.
Oh,
I am
wow.
From the
Whoa.
future. I
This is-
am here.
He's
to
got a
guide
secret
you.
Twitch channel. He's making a lot of money with, dude, for sure.
For sure.
Wow.
I don't like. I don't like this. I don't like this.
You know what? It's getting kind of late. I'm gonna drop down.
Oh,
yeah, my
man.
bad. My bad.
The scams you could pull off with that thing.
Shane, turn your
People are
screen
doing it.
back up. The dude, like, what? So, what were you guys talking about in the spaces? And did you guys hash it out?
Yeah, me and Mike are cool. Like me
Good.
and Mike are best friends forever now.
Good.
I love that. I love that. So no more
Boxing match.
No more
There's no more-
sanctioned boxing match. Is that
Well,
all
I mean for
people?
charity.
For charity. I want to. You know,
For
I'm
charity.
down. I'm so down. Let me go ahead and make myself big
I'll
and let me
box
give some
Panda.
suspense music.
Oh shit.
Oh, now Mike, we gotta have weight classes here. Come on, he's
I
too
know.
small.
It's like clearly clear. I mean, just in the chat, we can see.
All right, Milk Fire. This one's for you. Wherever
oh,
you're at.
shit.
Charity boxing match. Me and you.
Shout out
6
KMF.
months. Let's let Keemstar put it on. Sick of all your trash talking online. Sick of all your weird antics. You want to bring Lou? Bring him.
I
I'll
mean, a
knock him out
monster.
too. But
I
let's
did
do this
that.
for
Wow.
charity. And
What do you
yeah,
know?
wherever you're at, I'll be there. 6 months.
Yes, it's 6 months, bro.
Who do you got, UAP? Mike, me or Milk Fart?
I think KMF's got the height advantage.
How tall is he?
Project Unity. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but Project Unity tried to go toe to toe with him and kind of wussed out. So,
Damn.
no, I think I'm gonna say KMF is 1-0 right now because
Oh, he is kind of a little bit.
It's a dub.
That was more of like a tie, I feel like.
It was a cringe off. If MF won that, then that's, you know,
jeez, man.
that was wild.
How tall is he though, Mike?
Hold on.
I think he's like
Yeah.
6'2". Yeah,
Alright.
he's
Reach
Yeah.
matters, man. Reach is a big deal.
Oh,
yeah, he's
shit.
and he's not.
Gets knocked
He's
out
got,
by
I
KMF.
think he's got some pretty long arms, and you know what? They say
Yeah.
about guys with long arms.
No, what do they say, Mike?
No, I don't know.
Wait, where'd Shane go?
If you're a plumber, they may lay long pipe.
Oh,
God, this is it's a family
alrighty.
show.
We should take it to bum fights. Yeah, that's what we should do. We should just go and like be a random episode
Bum
of bum
fights.
fights.
Dude, that's a reference
Where's
right there, boy.
Keemstar? Where's
He was on last night.
He's with family right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got family. So,
And there's like fight stuff always going on too.
It's always popping off.
so
Oh.
what's going on? What are you
Is it
talking
true
about?
he shaved his beard?
No.
No
That's-
way.
I don't know.
No way.
And real quick in the live chat, who do you guys got in a match? Me or Milk Farts?
Oh, we want to hear
Oh.
you guys weigh in on this.
Oh,
Weigh
we got
in on this.
we got a new friend coming to the stage for the first time. We got King Wakata.
King
Welcome,
Wakata,
bro.
welcome.
Hey.
Hey.
What's
Welcome to
going
the
on,
show, dude.
everybody?
It's great
What's
to see
going
you.
on?
Hola, ¿cómo estás, man?
Hey.
I love the setup you guys got going, man. Looks great.
Thanks,
yeah,
bro.
bro.
The color scheme and everything.
Even
looks
this
awesome.
fucking guy has a better camera than I have.
He does, dude. He
He's
does.
got a better thing too.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
I-
King Wakata, you're like you've been on UFO Twitter recently, I feel like, and you kind of just been getting really into it. You're not an experiencer though, right?
No, I've never experienced anything. I've never seen anything. But for me, it just looking back, I patterns. That's what makes me think there's something to it. The patterns.
Yeah, and that's what the spaces. Tupa talks about this all the time, and I totally agree. It's one thing to read about stuff in books, but it's another thing to hear like hundreds of people in Twitter spaces who aren't trying to sell a book, like explain the same thing at like, you know what I mean, or similar experiences and whatnot. That stuff really is like, it's helped my, I don't know, just I think something's going on. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I think what Mike was trying to say before in that space is my camera glitchy to you guys?
No, it looks smooth as butter, man.
It doesn't
Yeah,
to
me
me. It doesn't to me.
Your lighting
but,
is bad. Can we get a light on you?
I have a flashlight.
That
Yeah,
green
honestly,
screen
that
effect
would
is
help.
just
A
eating
flashlight
all
and
that
just like
FPS,
put it
man.
pointed at you.
Light 'em up.
All right, this is my flashlight. It's a wallet.
You know what I used to do? I would turn the TV on and just put it on mute, so that way you get at least the TV
Well,
light on.
I got drunk in a space and broke my TV. So it's not gonna work. Unfortunately, UFO Shane threw a piece of candy at his TV and it broke it. But you know, we're talking about like the metaphorical multicolored dick sucking that goes on with UFO celebrities is really what Mike was talking about. And man, like he wasn't speaking lies at all. And he kind of talked. I'm not going to say who he was talking about or anything like that because I don't think he really wants it out there. And he can talk about if he wants to. But I agree with everything he said.
Fuck fettuccine
Oh
split.
shit! Never mind.
Let's talk about what's happening with you because I thought you guys were boys. And for everyone who doesn't know, Uplifting Tweets is like he makes honestly some of his memes really hit. Some of them I think are a little out of pocket.
He's a fucking jerk. He's a fucking jerk.
What
off.
happened though? You guys were boys,
too,
dude.
thanks.
Yeah, I mean we already kind of Shane's already cussed.
All
Try
right,
and keep it down if you can.
I'll curb it.
Why is it Shane
Yeah,
always
sorry,
cuss?
The guy thinks he's like he can walk all over you, and then he can just when you have a slight issue and you say you're sorry, he's got to let you know that how upset he was. No, every time he walks all over you and then apologizes, you just say, hey, it's cool, no worries, despite how like crappy he treats you and how just cranky he is. It doesn't matter.
He comes in very hot.
I'm kind of
He
sick
comes
of
in-
all these clicks. And this goes for even people on this panel, man.
You talking about Wakata?
The rampant like brown nosing. Yeah, maybe
No,
it's
I was gonna say, Mike, this is the first time me seeing your face. I thought you'd have had like a big beard too, bro. You hit me off like a beard guy.
He's getting there.
Yeah,
He's
coming in.
turning into UFO Shane. Like,
We all gotta
I
get
have
the UFO
to
Shane beard.
I have to shave it every once in a while because like I have to put masks on generally.
Oh,
he also has a wife.
He's
Let's
in the
be
medical
real
field.
here. He, unlike all of us here, he actually has a wife, so he has to shave his beard. Just part
I'm
of it.
married.
Fair.
Like
That's
what?
fair. So
Celestial's
for those
not
who, I
married.
want to give
I'm
the
100%
chat.
married.
I got to give everybody a background knowledge on Uplifting Tweets and this whole. It's an
Yeah,
account,
let's do it.
right? It's an
fuck
account. He
him,
makes
I
graphics
guess.
and whatnot and memes and whatnot. He's totally into UFOs. I came across him first on UFO Twitter.
I'm gonna
Turns out
send
that
him the link,
he
too.
had made graphics and is friends with Jeremy Corbell, friend of Weaponized, right? So like Jeremy Corbell's a big name.
I don't
And
feel like he's just friends with
Uplifting
them,
Tweets. This is the guy's. I don't know his real name, but we'll just call him Fettuccine Split or whatever, right? I know it's a lot of names to figure out right away, but it's all the same dude. This guy created a parody account for another UFO Twitter. Again, super toxic, wild ass behavior going on over there. He creates a parody account and then pays for followers on it so that it like gets boosts. So it looks like it's followed by thousands of people when it's just not, dude, because it wasn't even that funny of a parody or whatever, right? So that gets outed. He outs himself because the guy who the parody was made of starts to kind of talk about. He's like, "This is messed up. I'm being harassed." Shout out to Brian Johnson. Hope he's getting better. Like that whole thing was wild. Fettuccine Split admits online that he botted himself. He like bought users
Brian
or whatever,
Johnson
fake users.
accused me of being that account. Do you remember he wrote a whole fucking article?
Oh yeah,
Dude, guilty by association sometimes.
I would like to say real quick
I
too.
never had anything to do with that.
I'm not cool with Brian Johnson at all. That dude
Okay.
is literally a joke. But yeah, keep going.
Okay,
Mike,
so
I'm loving this arc for you, by the way.
After Fettuccine Split this parody account, like after it gets figured out that he botted and paid for it, dude, his account's suspended, which is kind of like a no-brainer, right? Because Twitter can't have a bunch of fake accounts online because that adds value, it'd be fake value to the whole platform, right? So that's a no-no. Turns out later on, Jeremy Corbell tweets out like, "Hey, if you guys didn't think Jeremy Corbell was really this dude's friend," he tweets out like, "Hey, Fettuccine Split's back. Dude, this guy's account gets reactivated, and he like is like, go follow my friend. He's super funny, yada yada." So this guy Fettuccine's super plugged, and now you're beefing with him. You guys were homies, you guys were super chill, and now he's kind of in Spaces. My only experience is
He's been a dick for like a straight couple of months now. Like I don't know. It's just he's on some other stuff now, and like I know he wasn't feeling good a while back, but it's just consistently that guy is just attacking people for no reason. He's like fucking Gary Busey out there, dude, just like aggressive unnecessarily. He screams like "F you, little Pop-Tart" in like every space I see him. And it's like, okay, like that's the biggest contribution he makes in conversations is "F you, Pop-Tart." Like I'm putting out like white paper. We're not putting it. We're reading white papers in our spaces. We're talking to abductees. We're going over witness and abductee testimony, helicopter harassment, and he's got FU Pop-Tart. That's his contribution to the conversations. And it's seriously, it's good stuff.
I love this art for you, Mike, dude. I love this, like, because it does suck. I feel like I feel for you, bro. I feel like sometimes you get lumped in with some of those worst characters. And I've said this time blue in the face. You're my favorite of all of them, bro. 100%, no doubt in my mind. And seeing you be like, I don't like some of the things they do. I like this. I like that you're here. You're trying to bridge that gap. You know what I mean? Heal the community. Cool. I'm with it.
Well, I feel like, and I said the same thing really though, but I feel like he's genuine, and genuineness goes a long way. So even if what he's telling you don't agree with, or if you do something like what he's doing right now, he's like, fuck you, fettuccine split. And he's telling you why. Other people wouldn't do that because they're like, I don't want to burn the bridge. This guy knows Jeremy Corbell. What am I going to do? What multicolored dick am I going to suck today?
What do you think the first thing, Fettuccine said to me when I was like, yo, dude, like, I don't, like, I was animated and definitely had some curse words when I was talking, but what do you think the first thing he reminded me of when I was like, I don't really think you're like treating me with respect? He's like, oh, I got you Jeremy Corbell in your space though. Corbell, I've been listening to Jeremy Corbell. I've been following that guy for years, dude, before you ever knew who he was. All right. I'm like, I don't need, I'm like, okay, I guess, do you want me to S your D now because of that? Is that what's going on? Everybody needs their D's S around here because, they're like getting people in spaces. Like, find me at like telling people, oh, I brought you up, didn't I? Like holding
space never happened.
Other people's head. It's so
now.
lame.
How long was Jeremy Corbell in your space, Mike?
I don't know, like a minute and a half.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I've had great conversations in spaces that didn't have one famous motherfucker.
Dude,
and I think when you have these famous people in the spaces, it limits a lot of what can be said because they don't want to get into anything too crazy.
I like this guy. I like this guy.
No, totally. And people act all weird, myself included, right? If someone's famous in a space, I'll be like,
these people are bootlickers to you know what I mean? Say anything about these like authority agencies, like I don't understand. Like I'm just saying, like there is history of police departments like taking part in harassment of abductees. And I'm not saying the whole department, but certain officers, have people have reported like the police will come and intimidate abductees. And I don't think this is just like a police department thing. I think they'll contact law enforcement and be like, hey, this is the FBI. These people are bad, right? You got to go do whatever. So say anything about that. And all of Fettuccine Split's bootlicking friends pour out of the woodwork to be like, oh, no, they would never do that, guys. Like, what are you gonna also S the D of every CIA agent we also talking about? Like, it's ridiculous.
He made this one for me and Tupa. That was fun.
Friend of the show.
I sent him the link. Hopefully he comes on. Yeah, it's interesting.
You know what? If he does come on,
let's heal.
He's gonna he's gonna scream at UP Mike. He's gonna scream at all of us because he's done it.
He already talked to me today. I don't care if he comes on and screams at me. He's a fucking punk.
This one
all he does is brag about like throwing people at concerts and trying to hurt them. Fuck you.
I would like to say as well, like I challenge
specific.
UP Mike to a fist fight.
Yeah, for sure.
And me and him are bros now. We're best friends for life. And yeah, we are. I mean, I'll be best friends with you. You don't have to be best friends with me, but that's okay. But like Mike's not unreasonable. So that's all I'm really trying to say is he's not unreasonable. So when he's sitting here saying like, I'm not unreasonable, but this person, I mean, it really hurts my feelings because like I
wish the reviews would get lost at sea also. That guy is just like a waste of space, a lot of space, as a matter of fact.
He needs a hug.
All right, you're going to have to get somebody with a long reach.
Yeah, as one of the new people into the whole Twitter spaces and UFO world within Twitter, is a bit comedic. I just kind of watch from the outside and just see everybody screaming at each other. And it's like, but is everybody in here trying to get disclosure? Like, is everybody on the same tip, or is everybody screaming about something else?
No, some people are working actively against it.
And that's
they're not
that's the issue.
even doing it consciously. They're doing what like UAP Mike is saying that, and I'm going to be honest here, is what he's saying Fettuccine's doing. He's bootlicking. And what you said, King Makata, about whenever you have these people in these spaces and it limits the conversation. I have had the best conversations I've ever had with people who have no followers, right? They're just regular people telling you what happened to them. That's what I live for. We did a space last night where I was like, don't worry about what people are going to say about you. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. Just come up and tell me what you think is going on. And that was one of the best spaces I've had in the last couple months. And that didn't involve any people with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 followers. And by the way, the cap for followers on you for Twitter is 250K. But yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
If I get to 1K followers, I'll call it. I'll make it. I'll be banging Drake in the background. Nigga, we made it.
And you're gonna get there, dude. You got this.
And half of these people show up in spaces. They don't know the work of Hal Puthoff. They're like, nope. Oh, Yuri Geller sucks, but I love Hal Puthoff's work. You're like, that makes no sense. You're an idiot.
That doesn't make sense at all.
These people, and then they're like, oh, I'm a UFO opinion leader. I make memes. And scream F you, little Pop-Tart. And I have a bunch of bootlicking friends all over the place on Twitter who are apparently not political, but yet they're on Matt Ford's show, who's a Democratic PAC. They're mods on the dude's show, yet they're like, oh, we don't get into politics. The dude just pulled out a dildo of Mitch McConnell on someone's show.
Hell
no.
Oh yeah, that happened. That was weird. Did you all see that? Should we react? I don't even know if I want to react to that.
We should react to it. And
Let's react to it.
Let's react
to this.
Real quick. He said
insanity.
Little Pop-Tart. He said Little Pop-Tart. Little Pop-Tart is the sweetest fucking dude you'll ever meet.
Although I'll be honest, Little Pop-Tart's been kind of wild in a little bit lately. I have to have a little talk.
I've never had a problem with it.
He's got a little.
Oh, he's a great guy.
A little
I love that dude.
Never spoke to him, but Little Pop-Tart. I mean, how does that sound threatening at all?
Dude, and his main things are Elvis and
out a little bit because
Mike's like, yeah, if you only knew.
Accounts. I mean,
that's a real person. I thought it was just a diss calling somebody a Pop-Tart, the same way I call people donuts.
Check him out, Little Pop-Tart.
With Rich the Kid. He smoked blunts with Rich the Kid.
This thing is aliens and Elvis. And
Yeah, he
also a
loves
new thing. That
Freaking
seems
loves Elvis.
And a new
That's
thing
not
that
a
we're
bad
trying to
mix.
maybe
that's
gonna
not
get
so
off of
chill.
a little bit.
Maybe not so chill. His new thing.
Okay, I think it's on Thomas. That Thomas guy, Cortex.
I don't watch this show at all because I don't like Matt Ford at all.
So I think Matt Ford hosts a show called The Good Trouble Show.
Right.
About probably I'd say about a year ago, maybe 11 months ago. I know it's pretty specific, but really keep that in mind. He wasn't never talking about UFOs. Now all of a sudden he had a PAC, a political action committee for the Democratic Party. He's hyper political. Now he starts the show, or he moves his show over to the UFO topic, and he has all these plugs that are hella also plugged into the political arena as well, and it just seems like a really weird thing. I don't know.
And I had never heard of him. I thought his show was just about UFOs. Learning that he's into politics and all that is new to me. That's why when I seen the Mitch McConnell dildo, I busted out laughing because it was just out of left field.
Yeah.
I didn't expect
On the center to center left spectrum, getting exposure to this topic. And I think Matt Ford is just one of those people. I got to tell you, shout out Matt Ford. I think he's a really genuine guy. I think he really does care about this topic, and I think it's funny. So, yeah,
and I'm happy with what he's doing with the wiki stuff, with the wiki pages and stuff. I
think that's really important too. Right?
Yeah, that's really one of the main reasons why.
And what Rob Heatherly is doing too. Yeah.
I still think I don't like it sucks though. You already know what my position is, Mike. I think Susan Gerbic is probably sus a little bit, but I think when we harass her and stuff like that, it hurts our cause. But let's watch this. So yeah, on the screen we got Matt Ford, just buckling the F up. This is Matt Ford unveiling a dildo on this stream. Everyone go follow Tom Thompson, Digby, Matt Ford. We'll get Matt Ford on one day. You think Matt Ford will ever come on here, UAP Mike?
No.
No way. All right, let's watch this.
He's too famous.
In the community, now that
sorry, man,
I've
that's not a
amassed-
dildo you're getting out of that box, is it?
Oh God, I was gonna say what is in the box. I'm so curious.
McConnell was a dick, but he's such a dick that they actually made a Mitch McConnell dildo. it's got his. I can't zoom the camera in, but it's got his name there, and yeah, and it actually looks like him down to his turkey neck. I got this off of John Greenwald's sex toy website.
Oh my God.
Matt Ford didn't know who John Greenwald was until 3 weeks ago, but good job.
Oh, we got Carlos in the chat. Hey, Carlos, hop in here, bro. We'll send you the link. We don't care.
Carlos. Also, John Greenwald is one of the biggest MIC simps in the civilian world. 100.
Well, he blocked me for asking him what UFO event he think is real or has any credence.
That's the
No, I think John Greenwald. Here's my take. I think he was burned by some of this community recently, some of the weird cult stuff that you always hear us talking about. But I think he's kind of with me where this error report like reinvigorated him. You see him kind of going at it with Green Street now over it and whatnot.
Or his boss told him what to do, right? I mean, there's also the whole other alternative that he's just like a total controlled opposition, useful idiot. So,
do you really think he's like taking orders like that, or you think it's more of just like FOIA thing?
It could be covert, could be overt. I don't know.
You don't think Mike makes some good points though? You don't think so, Mike? You don't think John makes some good points though about Arrow and where they're screwing up and how they're not really showing any evidence? They're just kind of giving us quotes.
I mean, yeah. So just about anybody can kind of get a paper full of redactions and be like, "This isn't enough." You know, it doesn't seem very skillful.
He's pretty middle ground, though. I feel like I can't lie, man. I feel like there's not a lot of middle ground, though.
Middle ground, like in what though?
Like he's not gonna tell you that everything is ET, but he's not gonna agree with everything that like Arrow is pumping out. You know, there's kind of there's truth in the middle, man, and I think we're missing a lot of that. You know,
I wanted him on that
one side. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, dude. But my outside view of everything is everyone's getting like one side or the other right now, dude. And I just don't see how we're really going to get to the truth that way. You know, I feel like people just kind of switch sides, or it's the same bait from a different fisherman. You know what I mean? Like, you got to kind of get down the middle and call out the bullshit on both sides to really figure out what's going on.
Have patience on me.
Right?
Don't give up
heard
on
of
me.
John
I'm on
Greenwald,
cosmic
like,
time.
twice before I even jumped on Twitter. I seen 2 of his FOIA things. And I really thought he was just like another person who believed in UFO, just off of them videos before I even came on Twitter or X. And I think his thing is he appeals to that UFO crowd. I think he personally doesn't believe it or doesn't feel like there's going to come anything out of these FOIAs, but he knows the conspiracy minded and the UFO people will eat it up. So he kind of pitches it as so when you see his show with the dark lights and the papers and shit. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It's tough to get stuff from FOIAs, I'm sure, but I mean, I'm not against somebody doing that though. Trying, you know, we got to get somewhere. People got to try, you know. I can't fault somebody for trying.
If anyone doesn't know, we made this a while back on Skyfire. John talking about people, because Mike, I think even Mike will say, everyone will even say that his depository he has online, the blackfall.com, super beneficial, even on like non-UFO stuff. But here's him talking about it. Let's see. Mike's gonna love this one. Mike, tell me if you like this coverage of John Greenwald from Skyfire News.
You may have touched on this before, but what was your entry in having an interest in UFOs? Did you have a sighting? Don't know your background other than you founded your website in the 90s. That's right. I founded it in 96. I don't have a very cool sighting story to tell you. In fact, I don't have any sighting story to tell you. I don't have any experience in that regard. What I do have is a undying curiosity. I was fascinated by government secrets when I was like 14, 15 years old. And when I was 15, decided to look into government documents. And then I learned of this thing called the Freedom of Information Act and started filing requests when I was 15. And when I went back to the internet after I realized a document I had read, specifically the 1976 Iran incident, realized that it was real, I thought, okay, there's got to be more out there, and there wasn't. So fast forward 27 years, what you see today is kind of the evolution of what I was looking for when I was 15, but it didn't exist. There was just no archive out there. And so that's what I did. I built it, and here I am. I haven't been left. But
I love John, bro. I'm sorry, Mike. I love John, dude.
I mean, when he puts it like that, you can't really be mad at it. But I feel like he knows we aren't going to find anything in FOIAs. Like Carl Nell, FOIAs aren't really useful. Like
He does say and that's a good point. Maybe I'll bring up that clip too. But he does always say, because I feel like that's the one thing everyone asks him. I've been in so many spaces where people ask him like, FOIA isn't the end all be all, and he's always like, yes, I know that. Like, I'm not saying that necessarily.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, chat. If you're in the chat right now, what do you think of John Greenwald, yo? Do you like John? You think he's a good actor? Are you with Mike? You think he might be have some different things going on, or what do you guys think?
Well, it's funny. He says he became interested in government secrecy, but he fails to tell you how he came into, and because his father worked on classified projects and stuff. So that could be where that curiosity came from, wanting to know what his dad was doing. Maybe.
He did talk about the Iran thing. He's definitely a UFO nerd, and he's been around, dude, since like literally like 96. I think his thing is like, and that's the thing you see in this community. Like some people with Ashton, right? There's some people who feel like this topic is already so fragile that like certain things could either be a threat to like killing the entire topic, or so many people also view the same thing as like, this is what's going to get us to the next level and be validated by everyone. And because there's like this emotional attachment, people have sightings and whatnot, get ridiculed. They go all in or out, and I think he's cautious, right? He was around when Doty first started like talking, right, in like 2002 and whatnot. And I don't know. I like John.
I mean, the only thing that's gonna kill the. I'll go on, Mike.
Greenwald are some of the most unintelligent people I've ever heard. Like consistently, like I see Logan Black in the chat, like essaying the D of John Greenwald, and again, consistently Logan is just like a low par human being in like every area.
What is wrong? What do you take offense to exactly in what Logan says here?
No,
what
I don't take offense to it. It's just absolutely stupid, and like the fact.
Let's read. So many people in ufology have benefited from FOIAs, Freedom of Information Act, right? Specifically, even ones John Greenwald is responsible for releasing. People got no respect.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like.
Well, I did. I benefited from the Black Vault several times. I've been there several times to look up some of these cases, to look up some of these files. A lot of people have.
The process they take part of. Yeah.
Greenwald is compiling these things. He's doing.
Greenwald is an access source.
Sure, absolutely. I've personally used
delivering him his evidence. And
I've personally used
the issue. I mean.
Dude, I personally used the Black Vault. I personally used his website to help me with my own research. I have for years. That's where I first heard about the gateway process. We just talked about that yesterday.
Did you also see the part of the Black Vault where they were talking about castrating Muslims in like the UK? Yeah, did you see that part? Because that's also
Tupa linked that in the Discord back. No, I was kidding.
Yeah,
Ben Friel has a great
20
point.
times. Like
Ben Friel has a great point in chat. 45 people watching yet 26 likes. Like this stream, everyone. Let's like this stream.
Get in there.
Mike, what do you think about Chris Mellon even saying that like John Greenwald's FOIA work is like really helpful to everything?
Yeah, everybody's got to pat John Greenwald on the back. Needs to make the little baby feel good about himself. Yeah, I know. Right? He's like literally never wrong about anything. Have you ever seen the guy really apologize? He never says like he's never like, oh,
you're trying to paint one of the nicest guys in ufology, one of the nicest guys online as some kind of like controversial figure. He's not a controversial figure.
What does he need to apologize for?
Twitter all the time because he's so loved.
Crazy.
Hold on. King Wakata said he asked him a question about UFOs and got blocked. That's a little sus to me.
Well, all right, let's be honest. What was the question, King?
No. Well, this is the thing. I tend to be very I kept asking it like on all the posts. That was probably where I fucked up at. So, but I just kept asking him like, yo, do you believe in UFOs, or is there a crash or UFO incident that you think has the most credible evidence towards, or along those lines? But I just kept copy and pasting the question. Every time I seen one of his new posts, I just posted that.
Well,
so that's, it was consistent on every post. So I'm sure he just, man, fuck you, douche.
Let's see what I asked the chat a few minutes ago. Let's see what some of them have been saying about John Greenwald. Where are we at? Oh shoot, I scrolled up a bit. Dan Freeman says Black Vault held the line for his stuff for a long time. Give him his grace. Mia says
about your grace.
Everyone should be grateful for Greenwald's FOIA work. Michael Kuhn says, "Sigh, this stream ain't about UFOs." Okay.
We're literally talking about John Greenwald. What do you mean? That makes no sense, Michael.
Pretty UFO related, yeah.
As Chupa said earlier, Logan Black says, "LMAO, so many people in ufology have benefited from FOIAs, specifically even ones John Greenwald is responsible for releasing. People got no respect."
Logan doesn't even know where he is half the time.
Put some
Dave
respect
says,
on Greenwald's name.
I'm
is what he's
stoned.
saying.
I'm stoned and entertained equals value.
Thanks.
Myths and Tales of Futures Past says Greenwald getting some good info via FOIA has nothing to do with him being an asset of Susan Go's desk. Ooh. Let me see. Real Alien Hunter says Greenwald is good, just nasty at times on some topics. Nasty? I never heard that one. He is not nice. His work, he is very rude and self-important. Let's see.
All these opinions about, I think, one of the nicest guys.
Oh, here we go. Mia. People just got mad at Greenwald because he has been critical of Lou Elizondo. Skinny Bob says, "Don't feed the trolls." Yeah, so some mixed things. We got people.
Is there any
agreeing
truth
with
to this? Are we gonna skim over this? Is there any truth to this, Mike? What do you think?
I don't even know, son.
Truth to what?
This Mia's question. People just get mad at Greenwald because he has been critical of Lou Elizondo. Does that kind of fall within party
I
lines?
think Mia is probably not representing what John Greenwald. John Greenwald has created a cottage industry around questioning Lou Elizondo.
Right,
because literally John is so pathetic and has so little going for him that he has to do this. And it's most of it's driven by ego because Greenwald couldn't bag an interview with him because, again, Greenwald is so pathetic and shallow, no one really needed to see him. So he was just mad about it for years. And
He did get one, though,
he
right?
got the interview with
he eventually got it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was mad about it for years, and then he did
okay.
get it. And then he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Lou Elizondo. I said some not nice things." Right? He said sorry all on the internet, like little crybaby Johnny.
No, and that's what
That's
ties into
rough.
Tupa's whole little thing with everything, right? When he didn't get the second interview, and Greenwald was like, "Hold up, why did Elizondo go on Shannon Scott's show but not mine again?"
Lou Elizondo goes
Remember
where
when he
he's
claimed
painted,
he
yeah.
was being called a felon. That's the funniest joke. That none of them. First of all, there's the Felon Five, and then they list 4 people. Like the math doesn't even. It just makes
For the lie
sense.
detector test determined that was a lie.
Let's watch it, Mike. Let's read the actual text because you never really hear people argue the other way. So I want to let's go through the grammar.
Barely read if he can read. I mean, that's probably why he's a failed actor. I mean, you got to read the scripts, I think, right?
What is Kimball's background? I'm a little nervous. What's going on here? Let's see.
Racist.
Hey, Kimball, you have no
Kimball.
intros.
That's
Oh,
shirt,
so
dude. What is
Utah
that shirt
Jazz?
right now?
I just couldn't tell what it is from being so far zoomed out. Okay, cool. It's just basketball. Oh, the Utah Jazz.
1996 Dream Team, dude.
Oh, it's the Dream Team.
I was gonna say I don't know too much about Greenwald. Like I said, I only saw 2 of his YouTube episodes, and then I seen him on Twitter. So I don't really have an opinion of him, good
John
or
Greenwald's
bad. To be
been on
honest
every
with you.
show you can think of, man. He's been on. I can't tell you. Like not as much as Richard Dolan though. Richard Dolan's all over all of them.
How about this, Mike? Mike, John Greenwald, net positive for ufology, the community, his lifetime contributions.
I think so.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sure.
But what I think is maybe not what you think.
No, Mike's not having it. I'm trying to find this.
Yeah.
Net
I'm
positive,
sure.
right?
Yeah, I mean, again, right? I could have, it's just pretty. He's an archivist, right? That's what he is. He's not a journalist, at least to my understanding. He claims to not be a journalist, although he does do journalism. But he's an archivist. So, yeah, high five for him doing the archivist stuff. Sure, it was good.
We all need a library just in case.
Yeah, archives are great.
Boys,
What up,
priorities, though. We
Kimball?
got Dan Freeman in the chat. Give it for Dan
Yeah.
Freeman.
That's right. That's
Tell
right.
him
Kimball's
to
background
take
is
the brown
goated.
nose out of
Big
Greenwald's
facts.
crack.
I didn't know what he
Missed that
said,
one.
but it's probably funny.
Missed that one. Classic.
All right, let's do some grammar with the squad real quick. I don't know. This might be kind of boring. I don't know. Maybe it is. It's a late night show. We're just having fun. So this is the big point of contention, right? Was Elizondo calling all of these people felons, or was he referring to a
Well, what are we looking at? What are
Dude,
we
I've
looking
never
at?
read this before, to be honest. I've never
Me
read
either.
it. I've
And
heard
the
it a bunch
words
of times.
are way
but-
too small.
Actually, too, but why don't you? Do you have that? Do you have that video from yesterday pulled up? Let's watch that again, and then we'll read it and break down if that's what it was. That was only like a minute video, I think.
Oh, it's in the minutes, but we got this.
Cool. I watched Dolan says, Arigna. Oh, a girl named Tom. I was like, Arigna. Kimball's background is goated. Okay. All right.
There was a state.
I'm going to read this. Recent leaks. I'm going to reread this. Recent leaks of a text communication between a podcaster and Lou Elizondo makes inflammatory remarks against Dr. Greer, Third Phase of Moon, which is an account, John Greenwald, and Stephen Greenstreet. So there's a podcaster, you know what I mean? It's Lou Jimenez, and Lou Elizondo's in communication with them, and this is what this gets leaked.
There was a statement of the 5 felons from Lou Elizondo in contact with this Lou as well, and they were talking back and forth. And these statements were leaked out to everyone, and they really showed what Lou Elizondo is really all about. I mean, they're actually accusations of the Felon Five saying that all these people, John Greenwald of the Black Vault, Third Phase of Moon, and Dr. Greer, and a couple of others. You know, I know these people, and for anyone to say that they are charlatans or they're criminals or they have a criminal record, it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Anyone who's talked with any of these individuals, anybody who's talked with John Greenwald, with Dr. Greer, with Third Phase of Moon, I mean, knows that these are people who are utterly dedicated to their purpose, which is to bring the truth to people, bring real things to people that people can actually use. And that's what Dr. Greer has dedicated his life to. That's what John Greenwald is just a super intellect. He's just a huge intellect. I mean, he's not a person who has any iota of criminality about him at all. And Third Phase of Moons, I mean, they're just guys who just care about bringing the truth in an area that has so much fakery in it, so much fakery. Which brings me back to Lou Elizondo. Lou Elizondo is just using standard techniques of a CIA contractor. That's what they teach them. They teach them to envelope whoever the enemy is, whoever's speaking out against you. You're supposed to wrap them up with false accusations, counterclaims, and the more scurrilous and baseless the accusations are, the better, because you're trying to create outrage. You're trying to show people that they can't mess with you.
Greenstreet, Greenwald, Third Phase of Moon, and yourself, the Felon Five.
Yes, I like this. That people who are the mouthpieces for an unconstitutional, rogue criminal organization calls people who are actually truth tellers, the felons, you know. And I've been called that for years. You know, back in the 90s, there were a group of these guys who basically said...
That's good. That's a good intro for this, okay?
I think Greer was just about to tell us how he likes Chardonnay.
He's a big fan. Big fan. Okay, so here's the text that they're talking about. Which one is Lou and which one is Lou? Which one's Elizondo and which one's Jimenez?
Green is Elizondo. White is green is Lou Review. Sorry, gray is Elizondo. But real quick, Mike, I saw you were like really loving that clip. What did you think of that clip?
It's propaganda. I mean, that literally is Greer propaganda. There was like factual incorrect information there.
Which one?
Did Lou Elizondo work for the CIA? I mean,
TBD.
I think it was Army Intelligence and then DIA or something.
I mean, this is a UFO show with a panel of UFO people. I'd like to know: do any of you know? Did Lou Elizondo work for the CIA? Who did he work for?
It is not known that he worked for the CIA. No, absolutely not. That is
so. That was factually incorrectly stated by right there off the bat.
Yeah, that's fair. What else? I like this, Mike. I like that we're all here. I like that's not just a crap on Lou's show. What else is factually incorrect about that, you think?
So I don't know if you guys noticed. There you go, the Felon Five, and then they only go on to list 4 names.
Yeah, I counted the 4.
They did that multiple times. I mean, like, the math doesn't even make sense.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just,
we're getting word in the chat. They want to read. They want to read
again,
what that.
when we talk about the Felon Five, there are two people who are the Felon Five, to my understanding, and maybe a third. It's Area 503, right? Who's Manny? Who is, I guess,
friend of the show,
whatever. And then 5x5 News, which is Mike Turber, who's also, both of these people have doxed essentially Lou Elizondo and gone after him on multiple issues. So,
well, wait a second, Mike. Third phase is 2 people, though. I mean, wouldn't that be 5? It's Blake and Brent.
They would have listed both names, and then
no. Why would they? Why would they?
Yeah,
if you say the Beatles, you have to list all of the whole band out.
I would just let's go on to something else here, guys. Let's think about this. Does John Greenwald seem like a felon? Does Stephen Greenstreet seem like a felon? Does Dr. Greer? If Dr. Greer was a felon, I think they would have thrown him in jail by now. Right? So even then, it's quite obvious all of those people are Boy Scouts, and no one in their right mind would ever imply that those guys were already convicted of felonies, rather.
Well, let's read what he wrote.
It makes no sense from multiple angles.
Let's read what he wrote.
One thing I would like to add real quick, when he implying that Elizondo works for the shadow government, that's what he's saying. He's like the mouthpiece for the shadow government. That part kind of made me look at it like, what the hell?
Yeah, some people really think there is a shadow government, right?
Right. No, it's possible, but
yeah.
But to say he's the one mouthpiecing is like, ooh.
So this is actually fun. This is fun, and then we'll watch into, because I think it plays into it. Thanks for being here, Mike. By the way, because I think Mike does have a point. Because this was a big old grammar school lesson when this dropped. People were like, the comma is there. He's not referring to all of them. We'll watch this, but afterwards we'll watch the clip of Greenstreet on Lou Reviews when he was still Shill Lou, when he was Matt Ford level Lou, and the felon thing, whether you like it or not, did get into the person that this was sent to, and they did try and do a gotcha about it. But let's just read this first from Lou Elizondo. Thank you, Hermano. Truly, honestly, I'm tired of all the BS with the Felon Five, Greenstreet, Greenwald, Greer, Third Phase, and all the other bullshit artists. I think and all the other bullshit artists is helping Mike's cause right there, or case right there. That like the Felon Five isn't necessarily being attributed to the people listed after, but I think what hurts your case, Mike, I think if Lou was more like the Felon Five specifically refers to 5x5, that would make more sense. And the Felon Five refers to 5x5 and Manny 5x5.
Anyone noticed, but he spelled felon wrong too. I don't think Lou Elizondo is some super.
What hurts the case is that Elizondo is the one who wrote Felon Five.
Well, Mike Turber might be a felon, right? But we love felons here.
As I understand it, like they did a whole thing on this guy because like he was going after Elizondo hardcore, and somebody looked into him. I don't know who it was. I think it might have been Elizondo himself because he was a little worried, and he was like, "Yeah, this guy is a total like wild dude."
Mike, here's my beef with this, is that like when we just watched the D'Souza clip and they were talking about the Felon Five, you criticize it as if they made up that term. Then we're looking at Elizondo here, who wrote it himself. So like who came up with the term Felon Five?
The term is a thing, but the discrepancy is Felon Five referring to
5x5? Who is the Felon Five then, Mike?
Or is it referring to the 5?
I just said Area 503, right? Who wrote that he did the documentary Who's Lou, which basically like talked about Elizondo's wife, like talked about a bunch of people that was very close to Lou. So it's a very fair
document. It doesn't attack his family.
I think it was, but
that guy and Elizondo.
Yeah, but to characterize it as if it attacks his family.
Who are the other four? Who are the other four? I mean, moving on.
No, you don't understand. Area 503. Okay, he's the first one with a 5 in his name. Okay, and then there's a guy named 5x5 News, whose name is Mike Turber, who's also like a delusional idiot who has gone after Elizondo. This guy said he flew in a Tic Tac. Okay, do you remember this?
I remember that, Mike.
North Korea, and he knows where they're made.
This is all news to me. I've never heard any of this.
This also guy.
A couple years ago, man.
Going after Elizondo, and he was also found out to be someone who had been involved in some stuff. So those are the people with the 5s in their name. And And I think there was one other person, and I don't know who it is. I can't remember. But there were like, I think there were 3 in total that were like, they called them the Felon Five because they all had 5s in their name.
And where are you getting this from? Are you getting this from Lou himself or from who?
No, just from like knowing the people. Like I think Rob Heatherly was in that circle, just like talking to people.
Well, Rob Heatherly's very close
with.
Isn't Rob Heatherly in direct contact with Lou Elizondo? Like he would be a person that if that's Lou's opinion, Rob Heatherly would be a person
I
who
think
could.
Richard Butt too. Yeah. Also, I talk to Richard Butt every once in a while.
That's interesting.
I haven't talked to him in a while.
Okay,
the last time I did, I think that might.
Here's my point with this, right? So this text message was sent. And honestly, I'd be with I kind of could see where it's like the Felon Five, I think only refers to 5x5. But then we see this moment happen, right? Do you remember this? Were you watching this live, Mike, when it happened?
I don't think so. No.
So after this text message goes out, Stephen Greenstreet, who we've talked about on the show before, hopefully we'll get him on one day. He blogs Skyfire.
Well, Stephen Greenstreet was mentioned in the text by name, right? Like
yes. And he was a quick TLDR. He was one of the biggest media assets when he first came out the bat. Not necessarily a bad way, but people get excited, right? And if you're excited about the topic and you make good content, people will reach out to you. And like, for better or worse, try and control your narrative. It's not always bad, but it can be. He had his turn, and then he was on the outs of this community. He definitely does. He's not as it's not like John Greenwald, right? Where John Greenwald, it's like. He's a voice out. Stephen Greenstreet's definitely poking the bear a lot. I feel like
They're all in some Discord together now. They're all buddies. I don't know what it might appear on the outside, but that's not how I know it works on the inside.
Yeah.
All right, anyways, I gotta get out of here. My phone's gonna die. You guys keep it up. I love you.
Hell yeah, King. Thanks for coming here, bro. I love your energy on Twitter and stuff. Hell yeah.
Till next time, man.
Bro.
Thanks. Have a great one.
Good night, buddy. Did you see this trash material? Have you seen this?
Dude, I've seen this stuff, but like to be honest, I didn't dive as hard into a lot of this stuff, man.
Oh, this is history in the making right now. This is
all. I mean, if you're around Twitter or you're around any of this, you heard the UFO podcast talk about it for sure. But I don't know, it's never been that much of an interest to me. A lot of this drama stuff, but yeah, go ahead.
I feel you. But here we go.
I feel the same way.
Well, this isn't. I mean, I don't know if this qualifies as drama. I mean, this is like, you know what I mean?
Counter intel.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Just for lack of a better word, Sam. Right?
No,
I mean,
that's how it gets kind of dressed. But this is very interesting when you can follow the text to these actions. That's when it gets a little juicy. Where you're like, okay, what is happening behind the scenes here? Like, we don't know, but it doesn't look that great when you can see direct things. Like Lou Jimenez, the guy from the clip, he was about to talk to his buddy Stephen Greenstreet. They've talked before, right? And then seems like. I mean, it looks like Jimenez is like asking this question on behalf, and then on behalf of somebody else. And it's a very brutal question. But yeah, play this, and I don't know.
Stephen Greenstreet flips a gotcha moment into revelation of the Felon Five texts.
Have you ever been arrested for beating a woman, or do you have a felon for any of these crazy kinds of crimes?
I'm sorry. Wait. So what's the question again? Like, I don't have context for what you're asking me.
So people have been posting.
Lou Elizondo did not email you referring to me as a felon.
No, not an email. No,
not an email.
Who's watching?
So I know we don't have a lot of time with you, but I promised a couple of people who.
Wait, is this the same clip again?
Well, that was just a little intro thing. I mean, we don't have to really watch the full thing, but
yeah, that's the part that's crazy. That's crazy. He asked him that.
He seems real uncomfortable, no doubt about it, man. It doesn't seem like he wants to ask.
The woman, I guess, Stephen Greenstreet admitted on his Reddit account that he had punched a girl once. This was I've seen the post. It's his. Yeah, he was in some sort of. The girl was like driving away in a vehicle with him, and he wanted to get out, and she was kind of like out of control, and he like socked her in the face.
I'd like to see. You should find that post.
You should
wild ass post. Well, I'm not the one saying that it exists. I've never seen it.
I can say it, and I don't have to show it to you. It's out there. So
I'm just saying that would be a good reference.
But look, this is how.
Yeah, because that.
Yeah, like I'm not here to do your homework for you.
Anyways, for sure.
He's done that, and then he also said he's like, when a girl gets angry at you, just like grab them, wrap your arms around them, and throw them outside until they stop crying. I was like, what? Yeah, so he has some like really off-color comments on his Reddit, especially also if you go to blackclickblack.com, you can actually see the actual history of the I would say race.
All right, Mike,
Was a
who's
lie
making
detector test determined that was a lie?
Mike, who's making these Scientology?
Yeah, you got to interrupt me, huh? You don't want.
That's
Mike,
Mike, know.
Who's making these websites?
Now that I told everyone about how much of a racist POS he is.
No, it's fine. We can talk about anything here. But Mike, who's making these websites? These Black Click Blacks, these Tupacabra.coms, these KimballMortensen.coms. Who's making these?
What's the Kimball Mortensen? Is that really a website?
You know it probably
it
is
is.
soon. You know it's on the way.
You know it is.
It's got to be Lou Elizondo, I think.
Yeah.
You
You
heard
really
it here
think
first.
Got it. It's got to be Lou. Got to be.
No, it's a.
I
Oh,
couldn't
actually,
think
here's my
of
other
anyone.
question, Mike. Real quick, we kind of skipped that part, but do you think Corbell pulled any strings to help uplifting tweets get back to Twitter?
I doubt it.
Does
Probably-
anyone know what happened to Brian Johnson?
Dude, he hasn't been heard from since. I hope he's okay. He was like having surgery or something,
I don't know.
right?
Has Fettuccine Split bought any more bots recently and announced it to the internet?
You have to remember that was so
Really,
dumb.
really- what a smart move.
That was
Yeah.
so dumb. That was
Super
top 10.
smart guy. He's a really smart guy. Definitely. Yeah. Super smart.
Yeah, and we got this this chat right here from Dixon Cox. Oh, got him. But they say everyone follow terrestrial material. I totally agree.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you fell for that.
I can't believe I fell for that either. I gotta get after last night's lolcow raid.
I was used right there for that
the
one.
chat's been a little bit different.
Dixon Cox, dude. Wild.
Dude, I got a scoop for Skyfire. You ready?
Scoop it up.
I'm nervous.
Okay, so Mike threw a fire. Nice. Mike threw a fire space last night, and he's actually the second person in the past 2 days I've heard say this. Mike used the non-word espouse in his space last night. It just goes to
Not a
show
word.
how much Grusch is bleeding onto everyone else.
Dude, Grusch has BDE, dude. When he was like biological,
Just shakes his head.
and the congresswoman immediately just like inserted it into her lexicon and stuff. That's BDE, bro. Not everyone could. If Kimball was to try and come out here and invent a word,
I just say that because Mike was criticizing some misspelling of the word felon, and so I thought it was funny.
If I was to try and make
I'm
up
just
some words,
illustrating the misspelling. I'm not criticizing it. Elizondo is a badass and probably can crush your head with his hands. So, like, maybe he's not good at spelling some things. And, like, I've seen him make a couple grammatical errors a number of times. So, it's
you remember the Nazi thing? Was that a hard day for you? When he was like, yeah.
Yeah, that sucks when somebody's like, yeah, when they're like Nazis are the National Socialists. And you're like, oh, man, you got to know fascists adopt working class verbiage to trick people. Like, you can't be that shallow.
Oh, is it Thomas Fessler? All you guys do is bash you. Thomas, come get in the chat, bro. I would love to talk to you one day. I want you to be a guest.
Get in the mix.
You're a
Shout out
hero in
Thomas
waiting.
Fessler.
Shouts out Thomas. He had Osvaldo tonight on. Everyone go watch that. Osvaldo, who was at the
Osvaldo's a good dude.
Yeah, he was at the UAP hearing in New York City and whatnot.
Hey, Mike, who made those hero posters?
Uplifting Tweets did.
I don't know.
No, it was him. He made them. He actually did.
Yeah, he
That's the
posted
thing.
about it.
He posted
Oh,
about it.
great. So, I mean, clutch. Clutch.
Mike hates so hard. I love it.
I love this. We're so close to Ronan Mike now.
Dude,
We are
this
so close,
so for those who don't know,
dude.
there was guys, we gotta show the pictures, but there was a UFO rally. There we go, nailed it, dude. There's a UFO rally that took place in New York City. There's a lot of hype about it. Some major names seem to be behind it. And then when they showed up, and when there was like, I guess maybe maximum like 30 people, but it was an interesting event. But there was all these signs already made. Okay, this is a UFO like rally, right, to get like support for this guy like Chuck Schumer, but like really to get some UFO truth out in the mix. And this is what was prepared for them. These guys showed up in New York City. Again, it started at like 16 people. It got to like maybe 30, maybe 50. And everyone just was holding, they were like props. They were just holding up these signs that were pre-made. And they all just say hero. Do they have a UFO on any of them? No. Dude, no one. If you're walking by, bro, if you're walking by New York City and you look over, dude, it's just like hero.
Show up
like,
with flying saucers on a banner, you're just gonna get made fun of even more.
Not today, dude. This isn't 1989, dude. This is like, dude, look, not today, dude. They've already had like UFO hearings.
Support these people who were doing these awesome things for disclosure. That was the point of the. It was for Schumer, right?
For what disclosure of what?
It's for Schumer. 90% of the posters. 90% of the posters are Lou Elizondo.
What are they trying to disclose, Kimball?
So there's this new term read. It's called UAP. It's kind of like UFOs. Google it.
I don't even think that whistleblower one, the 40 whistleblowers, I don't even think that says UFO on it. I never thought about that. That's crazy.
None of them do.
That's crazy,
dude. It's a UFO rally, literally, and it's just pictures of people's faces. Like, it doesn't. No one knows what they're doing. No one's gonna know what they're doing.
I'm sorry.
I think it's pretty obvious what they're doing, and
I think it is too. It's hero worship.
This one's for you, dude. All you guys do is
what are you saying? So you're thinking that it's just for the people that are on the posters. It's not really to actually raise awareness. Is what you're saying?
I'm saying the proof is in the pudding. Look at exactly what it's doing. Imagine yourself.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
This is a problem with all. I'm going to say this for real. Like, all of ufology has this problem. Everyone talks as if like the people listening are going to know who all these names are. We're talking like inside baseball. Imagine
they
don't know.
Imagine
you're a regular person.
Yeah.
We've spent years in this rabbit hole. We know what we're talking about. We know all these names. We know all these places. It's like facts we can rattle off. If you're just walking by, you have no idea what this is about. There's not one of the posters that was made by Uplifting Tweets or Fettuccine Split or Jeremy Corbell's guy, right? There's not one of them in here that has like, hey, we're looking at you. I don't see the word UFO. I see the word hero on different people's faces.
And Hathaway,
twice. In two different languages. Like, to me, if I was just walking by, I'd be like, oh, like, what? Okay, so these guys, maybe are they police officers? Do they? What are they?
What would you have their signs say?
At least a UFO on it.
UFO truth, UFO disclosure now, like stuff like that. Like, why wouldn't you
sign on
do
the
that?
back though? What was okay? I think there's a picture of them holding that big white sign in the back. What'd that say on it? I can't remember. Do you have that, Red?
Let me see. I'll go look for it.
Yeah, I think that one said UAP, didn't it? Maybe.
Did you see? No, I don't know actually. Let me see.
There's some clip. It might have been on Green Street's video where they were holding it.
Shouts out estimate of the situation too for killing that. He filmed a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
And like, it's cool, you know what I mean? Like some.
Yeah, Tupa was out there too. Shouts out Tupa.
Talk about hero worship.
I know, right? Tupa's over here roasting fettuccine splits, but then makes one of himself.
I mean, I get what you mean though. Like, you could take that crowd of people that are standing there, you could put them anywhere in the world, and is that what you kind of mean? Doesn't really matter. Like that could be anywhere.
It just, dude, there's no marketing here. I don't understand what the goal is, and I don't want to ask these people what the goal is. Like, there's nothing that's attracting the guy walking by in New York City to stop and talk. It's just like, oh, these guys, cool. Do you guys have a pamphlet? I mean, you're just gonna walk past it. Like, you ever been in New York City walking around, dude? This isn't going to slow you down. You're going to look at the words. You're going to look at the faces. There's 99% of the people out there don't recognize David Grusch. They don't know the name David Grusch.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't have the marketing potential that it really could have by just explaining to people or enticing people to stop and talk. There's nothing on that brand that says, hey, come here, ask me about UFOs. Like, it's just 9 or 10 posters with
you guys
this guy's heroes.
Rallies, huh? Yeah, I don't think you guys know what you're talking about. Some of
you don't think I know what I'm talking about posters? About information on a poster, bro? This guy got one word on the poster. Hero.
We're talking about what these rallies aim to do. Some of them have turnouts like this. You know, these are rallies to show support to the legislator who was trying to pass the amendment to say thank you.
All right. Well, can I judge the effectiveness of their presentation? Can't I judge it? Can't I say, hey, this is what it could have been? Like,
doing it because you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't. That's one of the things you're saying. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes down to what a poster, what kind of information could be in a poster. everyone here has seen 1,000 posters.
Cardboard. This is the cardboard is the issue. Yeah.
Well, I think the event itself is something that sparked interest. A lot of people, we had a friend who went there, Espen Situation, filmed some cool interviews, right? I think, why wouldn't you want an event like this to spark conversation or attract eyes?
Yeah, I think
why else are you
great
printing a poster?
You can, yeah.
Let's listen to Osvaldo here.
I don't have any issue with it.
Friend of the show.
It's time for us to make this a physical thing. It's time for us to show not only the politicians that are supporting our cause, that we support them, but that also that the whistleblowers and their families have support that they need to go forward and doing what they're doing. It's time for us.
And real quick, I want to just make this point real quick. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go big and I'm gonna look at the camera. This is for Thomas Fessler in the chat. All you guys do is bash Lou. No, I actually disagree. And Thomas, I actually, I support Thomas Fessler. I'm gonna come out and say that right now. It takes a lot to do a show every day, and people who just kind of get it every day, even if we might not agree all the time, I'm totally with it. Lou Elizondo did a great job lobbying Congress and helping the whistleblower legislation, getting the UAPTF even created to get Grusch. He's done a lot of really good things, in my opinion. That's why it makes the bad things kind of sting, is what I would say about that. But he's definitely done like.
What are the bad things? Could you could we use our adult words?
I knew that was coming.
Sure. I honestly think it's this like weird harassment culture that didn't really exist before. And you yourself said it was a bad look when he followed certain serial harasser and stuff like that. I feel like that when you.
So was it a bad look when you guys went into business with Keemstar, who's like a super serial harasser? What's worse?
I think
the former. The former is worse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did KMF make somebody jump off a cliff or?
That's a lie. But KMF did weaponize.
Mike.
KMF did do what you're doing and lie about a suicide to weaponize it, which is pretty sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, I think there's a lot of throwing stones, glass houses thing going on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Didn't KMF ask someone to kill themselves
after they sexually harassed him? I think, right?
Mike, hey guys,
what the fuck is this world? What have they done to us? What did they do to us?
Mike,
what the fuck?
Mike's in he's in his Ronification, a Ronification of UAP Mike. So just let him breathe. Yeah, I'm actually gonna go take a bong rip and I'll be right back.
I love that song. It's my favorite. Guys, I mean, I do think that Lou has done a lot of good. We can't really harp on these people too much, right? I think but my thing is those posters were lame as F, dude. That's my opinion. I think they're at the very least there should have been more to attract the everyday person to see, hey, we're talking about UFOs. We want disclosure out here. Like, give me a poster of Roswell. Like, what happened at Roswell? These things spark interest, and they do good for like press, right? Like, the press is there. Yeah, it almost feels like they did the bare minimum to make sure that certain names were mentioned with the word hero. That doesn't seem like it's pro disclosure to me. It seems different. It seems pro personality, pro character.
That's so dumb, Tupa. I'm sorry, but these people are whistleblowers, right? They're trying to like get. They came
whistleblowers
out self-sacrifice to try and disclose UFOs. They are heroes. I mean, shit, they've been shat on. They should be celebrated. I don't think that's hero worship.
I'm not gonna do. I would never like. I guess I actually think that in their own way they are heroes. But that's the event was marketed as a UFO rally. Like, it wasn't marketed as Lou Elizondo, David Grusch rally. Like,
it doesn't.
There's an incongruency.
For Schumer, it was a rally.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was marketed. That's what I
rally for Schumer. What did the poster? Can we bring up the poster? Let me find the poster on this thing.
Not for New York City.
Right.
For Schumer.
Yes.
For
so
Schumer.
I mean, technically, they probably could have had Schumer on there instead. But why is Shane trying to call me?
You got to answer it, dude. So the UFO rally was also put on by, in part by like Danny Sheehan, right?
Yeah. Why didn't he show up to that thing, man? Right? That was his gig, right?
Everyone thought that skinny dude was him just because he had those.
No, that wasn't though.
It was wild.
No, that was what? That was the director, right?
Paradigm, right?
Yeah,
I think that's his
director.
I think they set it up, and I think Jim Garrison was the guy's name, and I think he's part of the organization. So
Sheehan was how I even heard about it, dude.
Danny Sheehan's organization was represented there. I don't know if Danny was there, though. So
no, I heard he wasn't there. No, the director was of the Paradigm.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, again, right? Or let's read this out loud. Please join us for Disclosure Rally, New York City, to thank Senator Chuck Schumer.
Okay. No. Let's do it. Let's do it. Disclosure Rally. The word UFO isn't on even the poster, so I was mistaken there. So maybe it's true to form there, but it says to thank Senator Chuck Schumer. Now, I don't know if we have this. This is back in the mix, dude. Like, there is probably there. Like, what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 posters that are visible here.
Yeah.
7 posters. Only 2 of them have Chuck Schumer on them. So shouldn't a majority of them have him on it? Like it's
well,
weird.
you're talking. This is just one image. I mean, how many? Where? You know what I mean? Like this doesn't seem like everybody.
This does, in my opinion, this does represent the whole. From what I've seen of this rally, that here we have at least 2 other people that aren't Chuck Schumer that are here with the word hero on them. Chuck Schumer doesn't have. I don't even think he has the hero thing there. So it's just an interesting thing. It's not true to the poster. Is my critique of it. I think we can call these guys heroes all day. But in my opinion, dude, the way that this was talked about, it seemed like it was more about trying to encourage disclosure, not trying to praise these characters specifically, which I think they, are they worthy of praise? For sure. Do I think whistleblowers are dope? Absolutely. But this seems like I don't want to say a bait and switch, but you know what I mean? Someone took the opportunity. I mean, now to find out that it's Uplifting Tweets, who's friends with Corbell. I mean, we're just looking at this group, and they're really good at marketing. If anything else, right? These pro disclosure, it's a marketing thing. So I just look at this and I think to myself, missed opportunity.
I mean, Uplifting Tweets is about as talented as much as he is a douchebag. So
right. Do you think that the community will ever heal, Mike?
Heal.
Yeah. All these fractions, right? Because we can't get to any kind of real conversation if they're always broken up into these different like chat rooms.
Well, as long as
streams,
people continue to be big POSs, I don't think that's just how things are going to go, and it doesn't really bother me. Again,
do you always see it that way?
It bothers me a little bit, yeah, but.
I mean, do you think that people in general are douchebags and kind of like idiots? You know what I mean? Do you think that in every walk of life we're going to disagree?
I think most people are pretty good. I like people.
What is it about the UFO topic that this thing kind of seems to seep into so much? Why is it so fraction of the UFO topic?
It's like a circus tent atmosphere. You've got the QAnon people. It brings a lot of. I don't know if it was always like this, but ever since I've been involved, with the internet kind of hyper focuses it. And I mean, Twitter specifically, if anybody hasn't noticed, is the PvP of social media. I think that's what Elon said. And I think it's great. Yeah. So Twitter amplifies all of that. So it happens more so there. Spaces, though, is definitely something I think that's kind of. It's in some ways it's broken down walls where people. Have more conversations. I'm a better speaker than I am on Twitter. You know what I mean? So it's just, I think it's definitely been a positive for me to reach out and connect with more people who I was just tweeting with. But I don't know, at the same time, it also highlights, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people who, like myself, even I'm irritable, people party, they drink or they do drugs and they go on there. And that kind of also makes things wilder.
Is that because you have a certain amount of respect for the UFO topic or for public speaking?
I'm not a public speaker, so I would say it's more the topic, but it's, I just, I think more people.
Red is blaze. Look at red.
I think we got to take it seriously to the point where people were really getting taken and people are getting hurt, in my opinion, by these things. I just talked to Eric Mitchell, right? Eric?
The experiencer.
Yeah, so I was speaking to him in a space maybe a day or so ago, My question to him specifically was, are people still physically being abducted, right? I mean, this is a question I've heard, I think, just about everybody ask, because we don't really hear about it as much. And Eric is saying most definitely people are still being abducted. And to what degree or quantity, he indicated that he thinks it's more than what it was happening before. But I don't know why there's a real lack of information about it. I don't understand that.
Yeah, like why there's no bigger cases. Like why don't we have Pascagoula happen again? You know, where we have that much media surrounding it. You know, and you have like someone like Hynek just automatically sending over there within the hours. You know, to look into it. Like why don't we have that anymore? You know,
Mike, let's give you an opportunity to shill your UFO Lake group. I love the rebrand. I'm all supportive of Ronan Mike. What you got going over there on UFO Twitter Spaces these days?
Well, we're just, we're reading. We're doing lots of like readings of some of these white papers coming out of the Soul Foundation. We're doing abductee interviews. We're going to be doing a Wilson Davis live reading pretty soon too. That should be pretty cool. But I think all those documents are important. Not to mention, I think this is another thing. The Wilson Davis document is another really pivotal document that John Greenwald has continuously undermined the legitimacy of with very little evidence. He just out of pocket calls it a movie script.
Well,
and you say, what's that based on, John?
Wilson himself, though, we have to be fair. Wilson himself says those aren't real, right? So that is kind of a big data point. What? Admiral Wilson says those things aren't real, right? One of the two people in it.
Does Davis?
He's gotten really close to the line, but he hasn't said it, right? What's the latest on Davis on that?
He says well, I'm just saying he can't comment on it. And does Wilson not say in the notes that he will deny having any knowledge of him or the meeting? Didn't he not say that? In the actual notes, he says that.
So that is another data point for sure. Live chat, if you're around still, what do you guys think of the Wilson Davis notes? And we did talk about this week. Let's just go ahead and play the clip because it came up again.
I actually.
Oh wait, oops, we're not up there. There we go. Here we go. Gary Nolan, friend of the show, loves Skyfire News.
And I actually briefly briefed Congressman Gallagher about this issue before he did the congressional hearings on it about the Wilson Davis memo.
And then finally, are you aware of a document that appeared around 2019, sometimes called the Admiral Wilson memo or EW Notes memo?
I am not.
You're not.
I'm not personally aware of that.
Okay. This is a document in which, again, I'm not commenting on the veracity. I was hoping you would help me with that, in which the former head of DIA claims to have had a conversation with the Dr. Eric Wilson and claims to have sort of been made aware of certain contractors or DoD programs that he tried to get fuller access to and was denied access to. So you're not aware of that?
I'm not aware, Congressman.
In my 10 seconds remaining, then I guess I just would ask Mr. Chairman unanimous consent to enter that memo into the record.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it.
So Wilson Davis, what did you think, Mike, when you saw Wilson Davis memo get mentioned at this first hearing? And for people who don't know, this was the first hearing in over 60 years. The Grusch one was kind of like the third, actually, since the post-2017 stuff. But yeah, what did you think of that, Mike?
I think it's historic. Well, that was Gallagher getting it entered in the congressional record, right?
Yeah. Who's out now? Or out now.
So yeah, I think that's very historic.
Yeah, that was the wow moment for sure. I think of that whole first hearing, right?
Guys, the Wilson Davis memo. I mean, did we explain what this is yet?
We have on the show, but go for it, Tuba. Go for the quick TLDR on it, or maybe Mike, whoever.
I got it. So, guys, the Wilson Davis memo, it just is a memo from a supposed meeting between a scientist, Eric Davis, and Admiral Tom Wilson, right? So this happened, I think, in like the early 2000s, and essentially Tom Wilson's asking Eric Davis and talking to him about this thing that he found out that he was looking into and he became aware of, kind of a UFO program that was underneath his program. So he should have had oversight of it. He didn't get oversight of it. And when he tried to pry, he was told basically back off. I mean, he made it pretty far down the line before they were like, listen, you're not allowed to talk about this. It's not even in your thing. We're essentially hiding it in your department and you're not allowed to know about it. So shut up. Well, he's like an admiral and he's like super pissed. So he's talking to the scientist about it and about the validity of the things he might have seen in it. And Eric Davis is like, yeah. alien portals and shit.
Yo, should we play one of your drafts, Tuba?
No.
Nope. Is that a red area?
No, it's just not good. You know what I mean?
They're great.
We'll get something worked up and work together with that shit for sure. I don't know which one of my 20 drafts has the most clearance on it. But yeah, that's what that is. And so we found out, I mean, through seeing these things kind of take place here, that number one, Senator Mike Gallagher, that's his name, right? Like he brought it up and he's like, in the very first UFO kind of hearing, and he's like, hey, have you guys heard of this? They said no, and he gets it read into Congress. But before he mentions that, he actually talks about a lot of like very niche UFO things that like he's asking these guys about, and they're like, no, we don't know about that. And he's like, okay, well, so that was an interesting thing. I was wondering at the time who briefed this guy, because he seems to know a lot of things. He rattled them off very quickly. And then we got Gary Nolan, a scientist who's been looking into the brain when it comes down to UFO experiencers. He's done a lot of really cool work. A lot of really shady stuff has been thrown around about the brain scans he's getting. It's very interesting cases developing. But turns out Gary Nolan said on Tucker Carlson that he's the one who personally briefed Gallagher before this hearing specifically. So Gary Nolan has also made the statement that he thinks Eric Davis is of the character that he cannot tell a lie. And Eric Davis is the author of the memo. Eric Davis is the one who sat there with Tom Wilson, and he supposedly is the one who wrote it down. This memo was just
also kind of a sorry, I'm so bad. I'm so Kimball. You're right. When I watch back, I'm always turning people off.
Well, dude, like Eric Davis. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, go ahead.
Mike would help me with this? Because there's a few people who've made some claims on it, right? So we got Eric Davis has kind of alluded to it. Gary Nolan has kind of said it's real, basically. Told his congressman to talk about it. I think Hal Puthoff said something about it too, right? At some point.
I was actually at the Berkeley Springs event where they asked Hal Puthoff about it, and the whole room went silent when they asked him about it.
What did he say?
Hal Puthoff said, "I can't comment on the documents because it may mention ongoing programs," which was like a non-answer, but an answer. And then he walked that back later and said that wasn't what he meant, like the way everyone was interpreting it. But I still think, that document is a legitimate document.
What's the next steps that needs to happen to prove that, you think?
I don't know that that's necessarily what they need. It may be proved, in the aggregate that this document was legitimate. It may not be something that, it just may come out like all the details match up. Eventually, more whistleblowers come out and talk about the programs.
That's a great point. Grusch's testimony kind of it fits in right within the Wilson Davis memo, kind of what's laid out there
perfectly. As a matter of fact, yeah. I mean, it makes 100% sense, and that's it. And this is further to the point. People like Greenwald still double down on that document not being legitimate. Like there's
like a document that like how it led to the document, right? Like
so that's going back to the meeting with Captain Will Miller, Admiral Wilson, I think Wilson's wife, and Greer, and maybe one other person. I think I'm forgetting. Oh, John Peterson, right? Who was also at this event in Berkeley with Hal Puthoff. He's the one that actually threw the event. So I saw that guy too, and he's weird. So John Peterson was at the dinner, and Greer had a list of project names that they had somehow procured from some base. I don't forget how they got the document, but the document was about a UFO person coming to town, and that all these programs had to go dark. Like they had to be like, yo, you guys can't run any of your stuff. So there was a list of programs, and I guess one of them was on it was like Magic or Majestic, I want to say. And so it had a bunch of program names. Greer gave that list, I think, to Wilson. And Wilson's like, I'm going to look into this. And Wilson later called Will Miller and told Will Miller, like, hey, yeah, I looked into this, and like it's a thing. But again, they all denied that those conversations happened at that dinner.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Davis spoke to Arrow, man? Eric Davis, I kind of feel like he did. I think that's where If you look back at the old Green Street interview they did when he talked about ATIP never ended, it's got a new name. I think that was kind of Kona Blue, where that was at. And I was wondering, like, I don't remember Arrow talking anything about the Wilson Davis document in their latest report. Do you guys see anything about that? And that's what's weird to me, because I feel like if he would have went there and talked, he probably would have brought that up. No? You don't think he would have dumped that out?
Well, I don't know, right? Like, what are the legalities of him having that conversation with Wilson in the first place? You know, maybe he does. I don't know that conversation is something he wants to be something he can talk about. There might be legal issues surrounding that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
I think Davis talked to Arrow, though. I do. I think he did.
He probably talked to a lawyer, and a lawyer was like, "Shut up."
Oh no, you're absolutely right, Terrestrial. Chris Mellon confirmed that, right? That Hal Pudov, Elizondo, and Eric Wilson went to when they were all mad at Kirkpatrick before the report even came out, and he was doing his podcast tour / op-ed tour. Mike, are you excited for the Green Street Sean Kirkpatrick interview?
No, I think it's garbage. I think Green Street is a garbage human being.
Damn.
Why are you? Is anybody here like? Is anybody really applauding Green Street here? I mean, do we really think he's doing good work?
Green Street?
Really? I mean, like,
yeah.
You gotta have skeptics, though, Mike. You gotta have somebody.
I think he needs a hug too. He's in my need to hug.
Yeah, Mike, I was laughing at the question, and you're like very terse response.
We're stretching that term. I think we're giving it to him.
No, I think his videos are great.
Lately, yeah, he is for sure. But I mean, you got to have people to push back.
If you want to vomit or something, I don't know what it's great for.
His editing is really good.
I'll give you this: when he posted Luna in the swimsuit, I wasn't down with that. That was messed up.
Like, what is
we
that?
don't need to do that. Yeah, it's not cool. It isn't.
Oh,
yeah.
disavow! I disavow that for sure.
That is hot though. He's appealing.
I mean, she was wearing the hell out of the swimsuit. I get it, but like,
let's talk about what is the psychology of that? He's appealing to misogynists. That this woman, he's slut shaming her.
Yep. Oh, and if she was a UFO debunker, he would not be doing that.
He slut shamed somebody, and there's all of his very progressive audience that they think he's progressive say nothing about it, and they're clowns. They're clowns for it.
I mean, here's another shit about it, but yeah, I mean, I hear you, dude. I mean, there's just I don't know. We have to have pushback from some direction. If we don't, we'll just fall off a cliff.
But that's not the point, right? I'm not saying we don't need pushback. As a matter of fact, I've been tagging Mick West for days. Kimball knows about this. I've been trying to get this flight tracker data on what I suspect is a real case of helicopter harassment. I'm telling you,
it was an interesting video. Yeah, it was.
And so Mick West is first of all, stonewalling me saying he can't pay for the service. I'm like, whatever, okay, dude. I've reached out to Mick West. I'll use him as a resource. I've never had Mick West blocked for years. I've argued with him for years. As a matter of fact, he has my phone number. I have his back from the clubhouse days. And so, there are skeptics. I appreciate some of what Mick West does, but then I'm going to consistently call out the other things he does. So I agree. Skeptics need, but Stephen Greenstreet is not engaging what is sincere skepticism. Stephen Greenstreet has built himself as a social media mercenary, okay? And that's what he is. He's a social media mercenary. In 2012, that was in his bio. He didn't have journalists listed. That was listed. And vaping hobbyist, too. So, obviously, very cool.
We'll pull up that clip of him on Erica Luke's after this. Let's watch. This is one of my favorite people talking about the Wilson Davis memo. Astronaut Edgar Mitchell. Go watch my Edgar Mitchell documentary, but here's him talking about it. Shouts out UFO believers on Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. Go follow them too. They're kind of like Eyes on Cinema. They get a bunch of this good archival stuff. But here's Edgar Mitchell talking about the Wilson Davis memo.
Don't interrupt. Okay. Go ahead, Dr. Mitchell. I'm fine.
Well, I eventually went to the Pentagon and asked for a meeting with the Intelligence Committee of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which I got with another naval officer who had had many similar experiences. And we told our story. And this gentleman, a vice admiral, said to us, well, I don't know about that, but I'm going to find out. And called a few weeks later and said he had found the source of the black budget funding for this project, and that he was going to subsequently investigate, because if it was real, he should know about it. As a matter of fact, he should be in charge. That was his words. And so we did get calls from him sometime later, and a report much later than that, that he had found the people responsible for the cover-up and for the people who were in the know. And we're told, I'm sorry, Admiral, you do not have need to know here, and so goodbye.
Tell me about the Admiral Wilson transcript.
I can't discuss that.
You can't discuss
I'm not at liberty to discuss it.
because you're all over the.
Oh, I know.
All over it.
Yeah. They were leaked out of Ed Mitchell's estate. There's nothing I can say about it.
I mean, can you speak to the veracity of them?
No, I can't. I can't address that at all. I won't answer any questions on the Admiral Wilson notes.
You don't want to speak to at least whether these are.
You know, they're purportedly classified information. I can't. I'm not at liberty to confirm or verify any aspect of those notes. And you know, when you have security clearances, that's something you don't want to violate, because the Department of Justice under the Obama administration, and it's continued under the Trump administration policies, is they will vigorously prosecute anybody with security clearances who will go out of their way to discuss any classified information that got leaked or released into the public illegally, so, or through other means.
Okay. Well,
so
I forgot about that one. That was pretty interesting. The Eric Davis thing.
That's a scoop.
That's a scoop, dude. What
Did Green Street do with that video, by the way, guys? Do you remember?
He deleted it.
Took it down.
Still has, right?
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Totally a normal thing to do is to retract this.
Well, that gets us to our next one. You'll love this one, Mike. See, we cover everything here. This is the clip that everyone loves to play, that when they're like, Green Street is literally a propaganda shill. Here's Erica Lukes asking him about his work for the State Department back in the day.
But you worked for the State Department. I didn't love that. I was watching some of your videos last night. Just amazing. But I mean, you were in charge of creating video content and then watching
propaganda.
Okay.
I was making soft American propaganda and collecting taxpayers' money to do it. No, but I was hired as a contractor for the U.S. State Department. I had a secret clearance. You can believe that. There's no way the U.S. government should have given me secret clearance. I'm the last person. I just have no idea how it happened. Still befuddles me. But anyway, yeah, I was a contractor for the U.S. State Department, and I worked for a now defunct website called America.gov. It was the official website of America. And we were telling America's story to a international youth demographic. And basically what that meant was reach out to Muslims, make content that Muslims like, and convince them that America shouldn't be blown up. Or reach out to China, break through the Chinese firewall, and show the Chinese citizens that America is red. You know, that was like essentially my role, was to make videos like that.
Ooh, what do you think about that one, Mike?
America is rad.
Firewall? Did he say break through the Chinese firewall?
Yeah, that's actually some next level. I didn't realize. I thought it was
in China or some shit.
I thought he was making
he said he wanted to convince the Chinese that America was red, not rad.
No, rad. He said rad.
No, America's rad. He said rad.
No, I'm just kidding. Communism joke? No one?
I forgot. I haven't seen this one in a minute. I thought it was just like making like travel videos, like come visit America.
I mean, he made videos that basically like made America look cool. You know,
communist.
But the way he phrases it here was like, reach out to Muslims and tell them to not blow up America. Reach out to Chinese and tell them like that we're cool. That's a little more intense than I initially thought.
It's use edgelord language. That's why. You know
Well,
what
I
I mean?
appreciate
He
his
can't be
service.
A normal person and communicate what his professional skills were. He's got to be like, look how cool I am.
It's cool. America's website. It is the official website of America. Softcore American propaganda. That's
Who
cool.
amongst us hasn't made softcore American propaganda?
Yes, throw the first stone.
Panda's made plenty of propaganda for sure.
It's almost like if somebody brought out a really good video of a UFO, we wouldn't have to argue about these fucking people anymore, you know?
Hey, that's a great point, Terrestrial.
I mean, geez, bro. I tell you what, it does get exhausting, dude.
I love the jellyfish UFO video, but
I did, yeah, I did. But it is, at the end of the day, we don't know what it is. That's what we're kind of left with. I want that jellyfish to hit the 90-degree turn, bro. You know what I mean? It's got to piss you off.
Well,
we don't get those videos, Mike, right?
Chudowski was talking, and then why did Chudowski stop talking?
If my expectation is that I'm going to get these things, then yeah, I would be pissed off. But I don't have that expectation. So, like, again, the UFO community has an expectation management problem more than anything.
Well, it has a trust. It has a trust me bro problem.
10 out of 10 times, everyone's like, "I didn't get what I wanted out of that." I very rarely see people go, "I got everything I wanted."
The Grusch hearing was like the only time, and I think because everyone was so
they still
low expectations.
The only time you got to worry about the UFO community is when they're not bitching.
I mean,
that's when you got to be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
what's your path for disclosure then, dude? I mean, at some point, it's going to be I would assume like a leak, like if it was going to come that way, you know what I mean?
Disclosure is like a loaded term, I think, too, right? So,
yeah,
what you mean by that? To me, it's what's his name? It was Richard Kelly, right? Whatever, one of the guys who was like one of the executives at Skunkworks. He was at some meeting, I think at Stanford, with a bunch of engineers or like aerospace guys. I think it was Jan Harzan, the former head of MUFON, controversially. He was asked, Richard Kelly, after Richard Kelly said something like, "We have the means to take ET home."
Ben Rich, yeah.
And he said, he was walking out the door, and Jan's like, "What does that mean?" And Kelly's like, "What do you know about ESP?" And Jan's like, "Well, everything is connected.
Everything in space and time is connected. That's how it works."
Yeah. So, and Kelly's like, "That's it. Figure that out." And and I think Kelly even said further, "It'll take an act of God for this to come out." Right. This is not something there. And if you listen to even what they're saying now, Congress people are not. They said, we know of two locations that are rumored to have something, right? And they don't want to talk about it because they know as soon as they do, there's the chance that this stuff gets moved. So, like,
yeah, it's potentially there. I mean, the government's not interested in telling us, dude. I mean, they would have told us already. They've had a million chances to do that.
What did the Arrow report say?
Yeah, I mean, they said the same thing they did with Blue Book. It's the same shit.
Got the message then, right? Like that. They're not gonna...
Except it's worse now because they're never going to shut Arrow down, and then it's just going to be a constant thing that they're never going to let it go again. Like I really do.
An obvious farce. Then I don't think
for sure.
Many whistleblowers. You're gonna. They'll make
that's why the expectation comes up with the video, like where we look at the jellyfish, and that's why I say to you, hey, I want the video that it actually moves crazy and it goes and breaks the door down on everything, because I think that's really what we're waiting for. We're waiting for finally some kind of piece of hard evidence that will change the game, and we're not getting that. I mean, the jellyfish video is fucking cool, dude. It is. Sorry for swearing. I know you guys are trying to monetize, but it's getting late. I'm getting tired. So
this is a wild ass show anyway.
But I mean, like we're getting to a point though where we need that though, man. Like it's cool that Grusch goes up there and talks in front of Congress. Like all these things are great. Fravor, love the account, love all this stuff. But at a certain point in time, we are gonna lose a lot of people, dude, if we don't get someone to actually
I guess hard out. It's like, what is the value of a lot of people?
Well, I mean, like, if you want to put pressure on the government, the more people you could get together would matter. That would matter. You can create pressure.
All right, so I think there's another problem. What is the ask when you think about the Hong Kong processors, right? They had asks, right? They had like 5 or 6, right? The community does not have an organized ask of the government. Well, we do have insiders, right? Like we have the Melon and all those guys. They're organizing and they have an ask, and that's why we're seeing momentum, because they're organized. They have they're moving as one.
There's definitely a group that's pushing for disclosure. That's for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that.
If we can't get together and put together an ask, we really don't have much value there, right? We could support people like Avi Loeb, right, and Soul Foundation, right? Those guys, right, where they're creating an insulated group of individuals who don't have to worry about external issues affecting their ability to operate. Like we got to support those and get more of those to set up. We need a centralized authority that's going to be able to like say this is BS, this isn't BS. So I think that's where we should be focusing and not being like,
Yeah, but how do you stop it? I'm sorry, Tuba, to cut you off, but like, how do you stop that from being infiltrated like anything else, though? I think that's where it happens, where it's everything is always open for infiltration and causing a problem, and then you just don't get anywhere again, and then you spent a bunch of money, and you're kind of still holding your dick at the end of the day. Like, I think when you look at like Snowden, that's what we need, man. We need somebody to unfortunately maybe not have to be home anymore. They got to go somewhere. You need that to get something like this done, I think, at this point. You know? I'm not trying to be that guy. Look, it's a big ask. I understand.
But what do you guys think about the
you
fact
know?
that like there's so wildly different like ideas and theories from some people that are so high up, right? They're like, we have the Jacques Vallée, you know what I mean? Then you got these other ideas that it's more physical. It deals with consciousness, but it also deals with like, you know, prehistory.
But none of those people are in the know, right? Technically, are any of those people read in?
Yeah, of course they are. Jacques Vallée.
Jacques Vallée?
Yeah,
I don't think Vallée top secret clearance?
You guys got to remember what's going on. You know what I mean?
I think he knows. I think he knows, right? Like he's been around.
But do you guys think, in some ways,
material, like put off? All right, so this is again like we got to understand how do they work on these materials? How does it work? I mean, I suspect the system is this area. There are so many degrees of separation between you working with the physical material and actually.
Yeah, but the government isn't the only people doing this stuff. Like the government and the military, they don't have all the answers. They have to go to other people.
Obviously,
like,
no,
Mike,
but that's not the point, though.
It is the point. It is the point because, like, you know, if we're looking at like answers from only one department, and that department has to go to a guy's house, right? Chris Bledsoe's house, and they got to send different agents over there to talk to him and ingratiate themselves with him. Clearly, Chris Bledsoe knows more than what the government knows, so they have to go over there. Like,
if that's really the case, though, that is the point in itself, and that's why the government doesn't want to come out, is because they don't know shit. The point
That's what I'm
is
saying.
we need government disclosure.
Knows, right? We're getting knowledge. Chris Bledsoe is having an experience, which is the government guys are not having. I mean, I think the government guys.
Well, according to Bob McGuire, like, you know, the government can't have them. They're trying to have these experiences, right? It's not just that they're not having it. It's only the people that like are around Bledsoe too that seem to be wanting to like get to know him. But they're, according to Bob, Science Bob, like, there's other experiencers as well that they're keeping close tabs on, and it's the way that these guys interact with it that they're really interested in. Because
I'm talking about helicopter harassment all the time. Yeah,
right.
I mean, not just helicopter harassment, helicopter surveillance, and I'm not necessarily all the surveillance is for nefarious purposes. Sometimes they're just like, yo, these things are showing up around these people, and we got to scare them off. I mean, again, talking to Eric Mitchell, he spoke of that exactly the other day. That, you know, he saw an orb with his friends and on Hilo just flew over the trees real fast, scared it off. And like, I do believe, right, these they do organize like that.
They do, but I mean, like, yeah, I just think that there's a lot more sources that we like. When you said, is Vallée read in, right? That's the question. I brought up Vallée as someone who's in the know, and the idea of him being read in is kind of like, you don't need to be read in. Like, is Bledsoe read in? Like, they want, you know what I mean? They hope to be read in on what he's doing.
Bledsoe is an experiencer, right? Vallée is researcher. I don't think he classifies.
Vallée has researched so many Bledsoes. Vallée has data. I mean, isn't he time releasing a lot of his research after he dies? Like, there's some. Yes, yeah. I heard, according to the Rice, right? The Rice Academy or the Rice Institute, or whatever that is, like Rice University, right? Like, yeah, like, isn't like a Kripal?
I think they're gonna get Vallée's paper. Or Vallée donated part of his library to Rice University.
Yes, and they can't publish it until after he passes away. It's time released.
Make it available, whatever.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, he knows a lot of stuff. And when you go back, I mean, I just did a whole piece on like.
All right, again, you're saying read in is
Right.
you know, having your tickets punched and getting a briefing.
Yeah,
Vallée went around and researched and put together his own information that's proprietary that, you know, eventually people can see, which is not classified.
But he's also not a fringe researcher that not a lot of people know about, right? He's plugged in with all the higher ups. He's been looked into for years. He was featured as a character in like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, along with Jalen Hynek, both of whom are Rosicrucians. right? And like look at the hierarchy of like how intricate like religion is weaved in, right? And these like different groups and like power groups are woven into the intelligence community. You know what I mean? Like someone like Valet, to think that he's like, just because he's not a government guy, that he wouldn't know a ton of shit about this stuff, and like maybe more than the government would. I mean, I think is wild. I think that these guys in the government are going to these people. It's not just crash retrievals. You know what I mean? There's got to be other experiences that are valid.
Yeah, I feel like when people say read in, that sounds like military though, more, right? I mean, that's that
It
kind of
is.
word.
Well, it's more government. That's kind of that was kind of the
yeah.
point.
And you're just saying, hey, he's just informed because of his own research, and he's understand the phenomenon in a different way.
I'm
So
actually-
his version of kind of read in is what is that? What
No,
you
I
mean?
think I'm more conspiratorial about it. I think
Okay.
that like there are specific groups of people, the ones that Valet is associated with, the so-called invisible college, who are looking at this stuff with all of the information available. Like Valet's not just nobody. He's not just
Yeah, I
like,
see what
you know
you're
what I
saying.
mean? He's not like Phil Schneider. He's not just a guy who read a lot of books and talked to a lot of
Yeah.
people. He's super plugged in. He was part of the DARPANET, the predecessor of the
Oh,
internet.
I was muted, but I
Like,
said that at the same time as you, Tupa.
okay,
That's
sick.
cool.
So like he's not just some random dude. Jalen Hynek was plugged in with Project Blue Book all the way into like, you know, looking into Dorothea Zett. She just came up earlier tonight. These guys are at the tip of the spear when it comes down to research. It's not civilian research. These
Oh
guys
my
are just the
gosh.
ones that are doing it off the books. Like,
Well, you just went from Valet to Hynek, and Valet was part of the government. You know,
or
the whole
Hynek was
point
part of the
this-
government. Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is the whole point of this disclosure stuff isn't to try and get private citizens like Valet to publish more stuff, although apparently more is going to be published after he dies. I didn't know that. But it's what does our military know? What does our government know? What's in these special access programs? It's no one's able to know. That's what we're trying to get after.
And real quick for the room, just so y'all know how long Valet's been in the mix, here's him in 1965. Yo, actually might have been 66. But look at it.
Valet has heard all sides of the UFO question.
Are you taking off,
good
Mike?
night, Mike? Good night, Mike. Thanks for hopping in, bro.
Dude, I got to roll out here in a couple minutes too.
Yeah,
Shout out
it's like
to
3
Mike.
in the morning for me. Dude.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay.
Okay, well, let's just finish this clip and then we'll close it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
For
he's
Valet.
still curious.
We know now that there is no simple answer. This is not simply a psychological phenomenon or a sociological phenomenon that would have died away long ago. We know it's not a secret device. If a secret device had been developed, let's say by the Russians or by this country in 1947, we would know about it now. Something would have happened.
Valet has heard all sides.
Bro, that's crazy. I've never seen that.
Oh yeah, that's is
65.
Young, he's
What is
so
he
young?
like? Is he like 21 there?
He was born in like
That's-
1944, 43. Yeah,
That's
he's like
crazy.
Pretty far back, dude.
Oh no, 30 something, right?
How did he
Oh,
have a
20
lazy
something.
eye back then, but he doesn't have a lazy eye now?
Dude, how is he talking
Oh,
about this
shoot.
at a level that he's talking about it? That's the glass.
What is
I think
with
that's
you
the
and
glass.
eyes and eyebrows and everything?
Those-
You're always looking at eyes. I'm telling you.
Dude, he's talking at the same level he's always talked about UFOs. Like he's never changed his perspective on it. That's the Rosicrucian view, by the way. So
It's
you guys know,
interesting,
like,
man. Yeah, it's
you know.
interesting.
Yeah. Well,
sorry,
fun stream, y'all.
Terrestrial.
This was dude terrestrial. Shouts out UAP Mike. Shouts out UFO Shane. He was in here the latest and the least.
Yes.
Shouts out Kimball. UFO intros. Logan says I'm a POS. No, Logan. Logan, we love Logan. We're gonna close out with Logan's commercial again. Logan is a friend of the show.
Mhm.
Logan, we got to get you on here with your camera soon. And yeah.
I didn't realize it was playing. Guys, until next time, we're gonna play you out with the music. Everybody,
And,
happy Easter. All right, happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter, man.
You know what I mean? It's a great day. Gonna be a
And,
great Sunday. We'll see you guys
Terrestrial
tomorrow.
material. He streams on Sundays, so watch him tomorrow.
Yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern, dude.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, guys.
Love you guys.
Sick of the same old news that's more snooze than news? Then crank up the volume for Skyfire News, the only broadcast that's literally out of this world.
As an astrophysicist, I can tell you that the universe is full of mysteries, but with Skyfire, you can uncover some of those mysteries from your phone in your pocket.
I've tangoed with tales so top secret, they're stored on the dark side of the moon. Skyfire News, it's like they've hacked the galactic mainframe, serving up scoops so juicy, they make Area 51 look like a public library.
With unrivaled extraterrestrial expertise and interstellar insights, Skyfire News brings you the latest from the final frontier. We're not just ahead of the curve. We're bending space-time.